Take my
Look, I'll just use the link that comes
All
up on
righty,
YouTube.
we are live. What's up, folks? So, quite a an exciting night so far. I want to first and foremost thank our guest technicals for making it. Man, you've had a busy day. You've
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
busy
for
day, bro.
sure.
You've had a busy week. Shit.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting, man. So, unfortunately, Eris could not be with us tonight. He was going to be with us earlier, but
He
unfortunately,
passed
he had
away.
some other things that he had to do. He had a meeting, so he couldn't wait any longer. So unfortunately, Eris won't be here, but Manny is here. And what we're gonna do here, I'm sure we'll get into all the other stuff, but the main stuff I want to get into here with you technicals tonight is really stuff regarding the Smash community, like what we had previously talked about in DMs. Want to
Yeah.
really not focus so much on the recent drama that's happening with you and commentary. Really want to get more back on track with what I felt was the intent of you putting out these recent videos with ZeRo and Nairo.
hmm
Um, but before that, I guess we could get into a little bit of just some other, I guess, more positive stuff, just to kind of cleanse the palate a little bit here from all the
No,
stuff
you're
that's
good,
going
man. I'm ready for round two. I was chilling that entire time. So
Perfect, perfect. Well, like I said, I have here with me Manny. For those of you that have been a part of or been subscribed to the channel here for a couple of years, you do know that you probably know if you've watched streams like this, especially where we've talked about FGC or specifically Smash, that I've had Manny on before to speak about that particular community. So go ahead, man.
Hey, nice to be here again. Sorry for those of you who haven't heard from me in a while. I work an insane amount of hours, and the holiday season is usually my busiest time. So I usually get home and go to sleep, and then I wake up, and then I'm like, oh, stuff is happening. But yeah, just here in the Florida scene, I ran a tournament. We started out with just Smash at the beginning. I ran that for about 4 years. It was called, oh my God, I can't believe, what was it called?
It was called Capca.
It was called Capca initially, but then we changed it
C
to
to CSE.
CSE. We ended up changing it to CSE. Whatever. Those that are local know about it. And basically, since the onset, I guess maybe what was different for me than most people was, number one, I was older than most TOs. Second of all, I was a parent. So primarily what got me involved in hosting local tournaments was I wanted a place for my 3 kids to hang out, play, and, enjoy themselves. And one of the things that I noticed from the onset, because I wasn't the one that created it, it was a really good friend of ours that created it, and he wanted me to participate, and I did. Um, and one thing that I noticed from the onset was that there were a lot of college kids and older people participating in these events. And at first you think to yourself, well, I'm in my 30s, at that time, whatever. You don't think much of it. Because you're like, okay, well, I like this stuff, no big deal. But then
yeah.
you really start catching on when you start seeing like 8 and 10 and 12-year-olds interacting with college age kids who are, like beer and yeah, and I'm gonna talk to this girl and I'm on Tinder, and they're swiping right in front of these little kids. So I'm like, wait a minute, okay, full stop. Wait, we should probably be doing something about this. So from the
Yeah.
onset, I was always very hands-on with a lot of the security and a lot of things, and I handled things a little bit differently. Some people didn't like that. In fact, I remember one of the big complaints that we used to get was, oh, the CSE events aren't as hype as other events. Well, they probably weren't as hype because I actually didn't want unsupervised kids doing whatever the heck they wanted. I wanted people to
hmm
keep hands to themselves. I wanted
So you're
certain
trying
things
to
to be
add
a
some, yeah, you're trying to add some rules to the element.
correct.
Because it's like a jungle out there with all these ages.
Absolutely, absolutely. And my kids are there. So how hypocritical would it be of me if my own kids are there, I'm there, and I don't
hmm
encourage other parents or other kids? I'd even point blank ask kids, I'd be like, yo, your parents, because that's the other thing, right? A lot of people like to blame the parents and say it's parents, 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 parents. Listen, kids are liars. Kids are liars. Let's just be sincere. When I was a kid, in fact, John can join in on me, we lied so much, but
hmm
that was because our parents were overtly strict. You know, they thought the boogeyman was going to come and get us. You know, in the 90s, parents thought that kids were going to be abducted every 5 minutes. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it was a bit absurd. You know, but you know, kids lie. Full transparency, I work with the elderly. Elderly people lie. They lie a
Mhm.
lot. I see you, grandma, liar. Anyways, most of these kids would lie, and one thing that would happen was that I would just immediately, I had my regulars. I'd be like, "Hey, do your parents know you're here?" Well, no, they don't. Listen, let your parents know right now that you're here, that you're safe, and if you need me to chaperone you, I got you. Or one of the other adults would be like, "Yo, we don't," and we would try to make that relationship with the parents. Some parents understood, they were cool with it. Others were just sorry. There's no lack of there's no other term. They were douchebags, and they just wouldn't cooperate. And they didn't. I don't want my kid there. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, when your kid becomes a degenerate or starts doing stuff because they can't find what to do with their time, that's on you. Because children need an outlet. That's just the reality of it. They
Mhm.
need an outlet and they should have a safe environment to do it in. That's always been my belief. And my daughter still participates in tournaments. She is still not a legal adult, and I go with her. I
That's
absolutely do
good.
not. Yeah, I don't allow her, and I know a good portion still of the regulars here in the Florida scene. I know them, good people, most of them. Some of them even married. With kids and stuff like that. And she's like, hey, so and so can take me. I go, nope, absolutely not. I'm taking you, or your mom's taking you.
That's
And
good.
I'm not a helicopter parent. She's off playing, and I'm over having a beer. I don't give a crap.
It's
But I
mostly the stuff that happens, like, on the internet and, like, around the community with, like, the parasocial relationships.
well, look, I'll go even a step further than that. To be honest with you, Tech. You see a lot of people within the Smash community because we're talking about such a diverse roster of characters, such a convergence of so many fandoms. You see, one thing that you have to take into consideration is morality and what's normal to people.
Yeah.
And what's normal to some people is not. And I'll be honest with you, I'll be very straight up with you. There are some freaking weirdos in the Smash community,
Of
straight up
course.
weirdos that
Mentally
think.
just stunted.
Yes, and you're being generous by making that statement. I'm
Yeah.
literally talking about people that will openly talk about hentai, will make inappropriate sexual jokes, will talk about their sexual encounters and not give a damn if there's a kid nearby, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. It kind of conflates things because when you're playing in these scenarios, a lot of the time the minors are really good. So they're kind
Yep.
of in the upper echelon of the community, and they're involved in these spaces. They go out to friendlies and stuff to get the extra experience, and then a lot of that stuff just slips, and it ends up just becoming the norm.
Correct. And I mean, now let me make this statement as well. For the most part, they are positive experiences, which is why I keep going, right? I
Yeah.
keep going because if I didn't like it, I wouldn't go. But every now and then you hear some stuff. And look, truth be told, at some point, I do want to get back into TOing and organizing tournaments. And I'll be the first one to say this: I will not make tournaments for children. No children are welcome at my tournaments. Why? Because I feel like tournaments, especially for older kids and adults, are a stress reliever and they need it. A lot of these college kids, they need the relief from their midterms and all that other stuff. Kids, sorry, go play Fortnite or go do something else or find something to do with your local community. But I feel like adults need it a little bit more. They
Yeah.
need that release. So yeah, I don't plan on doing that. And that's something that I experienced in my 4 years as a TO. We started out being very family friendly. I wanted to integrate things as best as I could with kids. But once I started doing FGC stuff, like Tekken and Soul Calibur and stuff like that, I'm like, the ages just keep increasing. And this
Yeah.
is just, getting weird. And some of the parents, here's the thing, man. There was, I won't say the name, but there was a kid that was pretty regular in one of the FGC games that we hosted. This kid was 14.
Oh my
His
god.
parents didn't give a rat's butt if this kid was out at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. They didn't care. They would drop him off wherever.
That's why
Godspeed,
you need
son.
that's why you need good role models in the community too that are not gonna, like, take advantage of those situations and,
Yeah,
like, actually
for
yeah.
yeah, for the most part, I can say that there is a very great difference between FGC and Smash, and the participating members of those communities themselves will make that differentiation, right? But the thing is that we have to take into consideration that the casual, and I'm talking about, spectators, people reporting on matters, it's it's like this great, like when we were kids, we used to think, oh, we got Game Fan, we got Game Informer. These guys are exposed to video games every day. They must be awesome at video games. No, they sucked. They sucked. They absolutely sucked at video games. And I learned growing up that their opinion generally meant crap. And
Yeah.
now that I'm getting older, I'm like, okay, I would like Tekken 7 more if it had team battle. No one plays team battle, you loser. No one plays that. And if you do, you're a casual. Please don't even post anything in the comments. Don't. You play Tekken for the verses and the online play. If you're playing team battle, enjoy your Mountain Dew. You're not really playing the game for anything serious. And look, by all means, games are made to have fun, but you're not playing the game at a competitive level. So your opinion counts for nothing for me. If you're going to deduct 2 points off of a stellar game because it doesn't have a feature that most of the community will never use, your opinion becomes moot. Anyways, sorry.
You digress.
I digress. You know how much I love Tekken and Soul Calibur. But
Yeah.
anyways, moving back to the point that I was making, there's a convergence, right? Because the people that are in it, it's like the situation that you're going through right now. I love a lot of your videos. And for the most part, and I love the thing that I love the most, honestly, Tech. By the way, my daughter is the one that got me onto your videos.
Oh,
because like I said, she's
no,
it's fine, dude. It's fine. It's fine. At first I was concerned because you use a lot of adult language, but that's fine. That's all right. Because I like the point that you're making. You're pretty based.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. By the way, I think, hold on, my kids are older than technicals, aren't they?
No, two of them are.
Two of them are, yeah.
No. Actually, no.
No?
I don't think so.
Because you don't have to.
The same age.
Yeah, you don't have to dox yourself. But my oldest son is 24. So.
No, it's fine. I'm 24.
Oh, you are? Okay, so you could
Yeah.
be my kid. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm messing with you. But anyways, listen. So the point of the matter is, when we look at what you're doing, right? What I'm doing, we're deeply involved and we're deeply embroiled in this scene. We're deeply embroiled with these people. We give a damn to a greater degree than most people do. And we know more than most people do. But
yeah, I'm a genius. No, I'm just joking.
You are, man. You do a lot of good research. I like your stuff.
No, I don't want to suck myself off too much. It's all public shit. It's just like spending the time to read it. Like people don't take the time to read it. It's not like hard or complicated.
No, but you have to have a passion for it. Let's be truthful. I mean, you're probably a guy that enjoys documentaries. You probably read books. Oh my God, you read books. Am I completely wrong on that?
Well, my girlfriend loves reading books. I don't really read too many books.
Well, you read a lot of tweets.
I read a lot of. I read a lot of. I research, so that involves a lot of reading.
Exactly. So the point of the matter is that you don't shy away from it. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to get to is that a lot of us, the people that are really embroiled in these things, what we tend to forget, and we have like total blinders on for it, is the casual, is the normies, the spectators, the people that don't know anything about what we're talking about and how they see things. So like I was saying earlier, the Smash community and the FGC community will point out that they're two separate communities and they enjoy their independence and they enjoy what they do. But to the casual fan, well, here I am at CEO, or here I am at Dreamland, or here I am at whatever, insert whatever name of major tournament you're at. There's a Smash tournament going on and there's an FGC tournament going on. To them, they're like, okay, it's all the same, right? And the biggest issue that will immediately ruin a party is underage drinking and inappropriate conduct with minors.
Yeah.
Okay? And that'll ruin any party. I don't care who you are. And the thing is that because of the actions taken by the Smash community, unfortunately, a lot of things have had to be readjusted for everybody. Everybody involved has had to make readjustments due to what has happened.
But on the flip side of that, I think that that's actually kind of a good thing that now people are making, or at least because here's the thing.
It's a good thing. It ends up being a good thing, but you gotta look at it this way also, John. you got to look at the rest of us going like, really, bro?
No, yeah, it shouldn't
Really?
have gotten to that point. It shouldn't have gotten to that point. But that's the thing. That's, I think, one of the reasons why we enjoy the content that you're doing so much. Also, is because the fact that you are bringing more awareness to that. Because look, me as a person that has experienced the FGC and the Smash community in a more limited capacity on a local level, even I notice things. And you remember this, Manny, when we
Yep.
would have conversations, I'd be like, yo, I heard this guy talking about some weird stuff. Now, mind you,
Is that guy smoking a hookah while he's playing his? I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, what are you doing?
yeah, well, not just that, not just that. That's not even like just hearing things, right? Not even anything. I will say this, and I've said this before. I never witnessed any type of inappropriate touching, any type of any kind of misconduct myself, right? I never personally witnessed any of that, but there were times where I would look at, especially the Smash tournaments,
Mhm.
because I was, I've been to Smash tournaments, I've been to Tekken tournaments, I've been to Dragon Ball Fighters tournaments, I've been to Street Fighter tournaments,
Mhm.
and it was only in the Smash tournaments. And again, this is on a much more scaled down level, the local on a real local level. I would notice things in the Smash community that I found to be at least, mildly inappropriate, that I'd be like, should that person really be talking about that with that like 8-year-old kid?
Yep.
It's not that it was sexual per se, you know what I'm saying? But it was not like you're talking to him like he's a grown ass man about something that he probably shouldn't be talking with you about, and his parents are nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I mean, let's be sincere here. Kids grow up faster in certain areas than they should because of the advent of the internet, and internet security is about as good as an unlocked key, as an unlocked gate. Like the gates that you go to, like the community pool. No one that's not a resident should be here, and everybody could reach over the gate and just get in. But anyways, one thing that I did want to talk to you about technicals is, just out of curiosity, maybe you've talked about it yourself, but you were part of the scene over in Vegas, correct?
Yeah, in like 2018 is where I stopped.
How old were you when you started playing?
Well, sorry.
Oh, my question bored you. I'm so sorry.
Like, no. I'm just like, I'm getting really hot in my room.
Yeah.
Sophomore year of high school, I actually started a Smash club that I was the president of. So like when I was a sophomore, like 15, 16,
Right.
I started that. And then, through that club, I learned more about the competitive local scene. And then we would start taking like school trips, not like during school, but like as the club, we would take like club trips down to these events and kind of try to do crew battles with other schools and shit like that. And that's where it really started.
Okay. So once you got a part of the scene, how long was it before you started realizing or started noticing things that you were like, okay, that's kind of not appropriate, and
Kind of
that's
fucky
not
wucky.
okay. Yeah. When was it that you finally had this realization? Like, what?
What's going on here?
Well, there would be things like them just being fine with whoever drinking alcohol. Like underage people would be drinking alcohol. There'd be people in the community offering me drugs like shrooms and stuff. And I was like 17, 16. Just shit like that. And then I realized I was like, a lot of the top people know this kind of stuff is going on. Like at these Smash like when they do Smash Fest and stuff at their houses, and they don't do anything about it. Like even like I got assaulted a couple times and nothing happened. Like I got a warning. I was like, what the fuck?
What, you got in trouble, but you were the one that got assaulted?
Yeah, someone threw a stool at me and tried to tackle my legs.
What?
And he got a warning and I got a warning, and I was like, what the fuck? He
What, you
assaulted
guys
me.
in a
I was
match?
No, I was just shit talking because like me and my partner had just beat him and his partner in doubles, and I read the fuck out of his roll into an up smash with Fox. And then yeah, we thought it'd be funny to DQ and just let the other people play right after we beat them because we wanted to leave. But then when we DQ'd, they allowed the people that we just beat to keep playing, which I thought was really stupid because they lost. And then he was talking mad shit when he played his set. He was like, oh, they got lucky. When I read the fuck out of him, I was like, what? I got lucky. So I started shit talking him just in earshot. And then he got triggered because he was losing his double set. And then he kind of just blew up.
So to elaborate, you kind of poked the bear He was wrong for his reaction, but you did your
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I get it, but it's like you're in a competitive atmosphere. People are gonna talk shit.
Of course.
Why can't you handle it as an adult? Like you can't handle your emotions. You just assault people when they
Yeah,
shit talk you. Like what the fuck?
absolutely. That's wrong.
Look, I believe the shit talk. Look, shit talking, legit tactic. It's psychological warfare, man. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
me, it pains me that it's not. You know, because look, I played online back in the day. You know this Halo.
Oh my
I used to
god,
play
bro.
Halo, and
Oh
dude,
my god.
I mean, that was the wild, wild west, bro. Back in the early 2000s, man. Playing Halo online, dude. People talking mad shit. It was fantastic. It was the best time to play
What
online.
I loved was John would say, "We may lose the match, but we will win that post-match
No,
argument."
I said what I would always say was like we might lose we might lose the battle, but we won't lose the war of words in the post game carnage report.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was but it's it's not like that anymore. Obviously, you can't really do that anymore because of all the rules. It's like it's real pussy shit.
Those
That's
damn rules.
that's neither here nor there. But you speaking about being assaulted, I don't know why. You know what it reminded me of, right?
What?
Fucking hungry box, bro. Get a fucking crab thrown at him.
Oh yeah, and flipping and losing his. I saw the video. I'm like, what are you losing your shit over, bro? Calm down. I'm like, oh, bro.
What,
Oh,
Hungry
God.
Box?
Yeah, man. Somebody threw a dead lobster at him. It didn't hit him. It didn't even touch him. It landed next to his chair, and it was at the end of his match. And homeboy just got up and I thought he was gonna tear his beard off. It's fake. It's not real. I'm like, the way he reacted, man. Like, I'm like, dude, calm the hell down.
I if someone threw some shit at me, I don't know, because like it was a build up moment because he was dealing with like all the shit from like Leffen and like I think other people were talking shit about him. So I don't know. I'm not in his headspace, but it's kind of funny.
Speaking of Leffen.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Somebody that you
love.
He's
your postmate.
We're best friends.
Have a history with let me ask you, have you ever actually met Leffen in person or no?
No, I don't even play Melee. Yeah, I don't even play it.
Wait, before you elaborate on that, hot take. Where do you stand on the whole Melee tournament scene? Do you think they should just, it's an old game, stop?
No, dude, if they enjoy it and they're passionate about it, like, fuck it, dude. Like, that's what a community is all about. It's about loving what you're doing and loving the game and the people around it. Like, I don't really personally give a shit about Melee. I just think when people create rules and boundaries, if you don't apply it fairly, then there's no point in having the rules. You just have an oligarchy.
Mm-hmm. See, and that's one of the things that I've noticed with your videos, especially the last two specifically. And you could correct me if I'm wrong about this, Tech, but I felt that the ZeRo video was a primer for the Nairo stuff.
Of course.
That's the way I viewed it after I watched it. I didn't think, I know there's people out there that are saying, oh, it was a defense. I didn't see it as a defense because I guess one could interpret it that way, but the way I saw it was like, well, he's not really saying, hey, this guy should be back at tournaments or anything like that. He's not specifically saying that. He's just saying, look, especially when you look at that video and the Nairo video, I think and again, you could correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the overall point that you're trying to make is that there is a double standard with these TOs where they don't apply those rules equally. They're not, they will make an exception to the rule when it comes to certain players. Yeah. When you see a situation where the other, like in Nairo's case, right? We're talking about Nairo here. You see a situation that objectively speaking is worse than the ZeRo case.
Just by sheer scope of action. Like, it doesn't matter who's wrong in the scenario when what we're arguing would be considered objectively worse, not only legally, but in the scope of like how far it's gone. So when people try to say, oh, this isn't even comparable, it's like, you're right, because this one's worse.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, because you have a situation where somebody actually had a physical encounter with a minor.
Yep. Look, I'll keep this brief because we'll probably jump to it every now and then. Like it'll go on and off. Look, to me, and John can tell you this, and anybody who was present, when the first video popped out and I started hearing the stuff that was going on with ZeRo, I personally was disgusted with the way that he was reacting. Look, now that more things has come to light, oh, he was suicidal, whatever. Look, full transparency, I don't think I have any friends, close friends anyway, that didn't come from a somewhat dysfunctional family. And my family was supremely dysfunctional, you know. So I say that to say this. I I won't compare myself to ZeRo because ZeRo got the
Yeah.
Disneyland of messed up. But you know, there are some things that blow for blow I can sit back and say, yeah, that stuff happened to me. That sucked. And there are some things that converge, at least with my life, within ZeRo's life, where I could not make an excuse for him, but I can understand. Okay.
Yeah,
So
and
let
that's
me,
the thing. It's like they say it's excuses, but like I actually picked this up from Healthy Gamer, Dr. K, when I was
Mhm.
researching because one of the live streams they went on with him and he criticized them over their very limited view of people and like people who do things like this. He was saying you need to understand what creates someone like this to stop it at the source, to like stop the problem. And then he made like a smoking analogy. He's like, if you don't, you can't cure cancer if you don't stop the smoking. um
Correct.
so yeah, I kind of took away from that. I'm like, well, yeah, if you understand the circumstances of what caused this, maybe you can make a better decision in the future.
Correct. But the thing is that the problem here is, right, we
Hmm.
all love mixed seasoning, but unfortunately, the majority of people who are in this commentary community, they like clout, they like attention, they like their egos to be fed, they like to open their mouth and have people agree with them. They love creating echo chambers rather than a discussion. So I use the mixed seasoning option because, man, I love me some garlic and some salt and some, you know, put all that together and you just in one convenient bottle and you spread it out. But I see oftentimes when you debate with people, they're like, "We'll stick to the pepper technicals. Why are you
Yeah.
talking about all that salt?" Well, because it
Yeah.
has to do with the pepper. We're seasoning the same. No, 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 no. But you're, and the thing is, to me, it makes perfect sense because you're talking about the legality of things. You're being very thorough. You're talking about the legality thing, about the legality of things. You're talking about the psychological, the emotional aspect of things, and then the factual
Yeah,
side of
there's
things.
so many different things I'm talking about at the same time, but they try to simplify it to one aspect. And I'm like, well, yeah, sure, but that doesn't relate to like they'll say I didn't condemn it, like, oh, I'm cool with the Ice Cube thing. I'm like, no, I'm not condemning that. I'm just giving you a proper explanation. Like, if my conclusion is I don't think he's a threat to children with his platform, you have to kind of listen to what I'm saying at that point. Like, yeah, sure, that shit is wrong. I'm not trying to like diminish it or anything. I'm saying it's wrong, like flat out. I don't condemn that. I'm just saying I don't personally think he's like active danger to children.
Yeah, and it's funny because in the stream that you did with Augie and Diorio,
Or I wasn't.
yeah, no, 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 the one that he did before tonight, they basically agreed with you. Yeah, well, let's establish he's not a pedo. And now here we
Hmm.
are again. It's like, personally, me, and I don't want to speak for John, but we generally agree on a lot of these things. They're just embarrassed. They're just
Yeah.
embarrassed because you made very valid points. They looked like morons and they didn't like that. They didn't want to appear that way in front of their audience. And oh well. That's my opinion, by the way, totally my opinion. That's how I feel. That's what
Well,
I saw.
it's really clicky. It's like I was going against the group, so they felt like they had to put me in my place. They had to put me back in line because they were saying shit online where it's like, oh yeah, when people were saying we needed to be cool again, they were saying, yeah, Tech's gonna have to walk back a lot of the stuff he worked on in the past few months. It's like, no, I don't. I've been fucking consistent. It's you guys that are making the straw mans and shit.
Listen, here's the thing, Tech, just to bring it back. John and I have known each other, what's it been, like 30, how many years?
35.
35 years, right? It's been a
Yeah.
long time. We've been friends for a long, long, long time. Not to get into politics here, but I've always, to the best of my knowledge, always been a libertarian, and John has always seen things.
Mhm.
Oh, that's fine.
No, I'm fucking
I'll,
with
I'll
you.
give you a
I'm
baggie for
fucking
that.
with you. I'm fucking with you.
But the point of the matter is, John sees things very differently than I do. We don't line up eye to eye. We don't. And that's
Hmm.
okay. And I mean, like, there are some things that we strongly disagree on. And then there are some things that with age, right, as you grow older, you start going, why did we disagree on this point again? You feel me?
Well,
Yeah.
you start
Well,
seeing more nuances you get older. Oh, go ahead, Tech. Go ahead.
no, you're right. You're saying as you get older, you start understanding more of the nuances of like other people's sides and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It stops
That's
becoming about you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I felt like the first debate we did got kind of heated, but it cooled out. And then me, Nick, and Augie were able to agree on what we disagreed on, like
Mhm.
the psychology and stuff, which I thought was very like mature at first before they like took everything back. And then we agreed like we didn't think he was a pedophile, but we can condemn the actions that he did as like something that could be considered pedophilic.
Correct.
Yeah, so I thought that was good, and then they commended me for it on Twitter. They were like, "Oh, I have so much respect for him defending a hot take and stuff." And then they apparently saw something that changed their mind, and then they started tweeting about me for weeks.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like I said, I saw the videos, and look, my opinion, right, on the whole ZeRo situation is, and we actually spoke with Willie yesterday on Crow's stream about it, and I get where Willie is coming from, but my thing is this: I'm not on ZeRo's side.
Neither
I'm not
am
on
I.
any, and I'm not on
I'm not on
anybody's
the
side.
side either.
I look at it like
Yeah,
this.
I
I look
wouldn't
at it.
expect you to be.
Yeah, I look at it like this. I look at it like this. We don't know what we don't know, right? We have, and I get where like Willie was coming from with his argument, but he admitted it. I'm like, okay, but he also admitted to other things that he hadn't done beforehand, right? And walked
Yeah.
those things back. So you're harping on this one admission of him saying that he did these things with this 14-year-old girl, which he also walked back. So what is the lie? Is the admission the lie? Is the recant the lie? Or is the admission
Okay, that's a
true?
fair question.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the thing is like at the same time, like if you were paying attention to, I'm not saying you weren't paying attention, but like in the case at the same time he was like messaging other girls and shit, and they came out with stories from the same time frame. So I'm 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 looking at this from, she posts the Skype logs that he doesn't have, right?
Yes.
And then his first response to that is just purely off of what he sees from those Skype logs. And then another one is released later where it's like, "Oh, you knew this the entire time." And then he immediately is like, "You know what? Yeah, you're right. Everything she said was true. The Laura thing is probably false, but I'm not even going to worry about defending myself," because he had a defense for the Laura thing that I put in the video. And then he kind of just gave up.
Yeah.
So I feel like he had a lack of even knowing what the fuck was there, and kind of just agreed with her at that point. He's like, "Well, you have all this, so I'm gonna trust you."
Yeah. See, my view with it is this, right? Again, because I don't know what's true and I don't know what's false, but at the same, and because of that, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, he is this, he is a P to the E to the D to the O, because I don't know that for a fact.
I'm trying to be fair. Like this isn't a defense. I'm just trying to be fair, because if he says like, if he walks that back and he says he was in a stress situation with all these other false allegations, people, his sponsor dropping him, his friends attacking him, and he says that he doesn't really know, and that screenshot doesn't exist, how can I say, "Oh, you're lying for 100% fact"? Like, I can't prove that.
Yeah, see that, and that's where I kind of stand on it, right? Because we, like I said before, we don't know what we don't know. I don't know what's fact, and I don't know what's fiction, because again, nothing's been clearly established. I mean, at first, right, when he first came out and admitted to everything, I saw, like most people that saw this here, say, "Oh, I guess that's open and shut, right? He admitted to everything, so I guess that's it. Case closed. There's no need to really ask questions now."
That happened with a lot of cases too. I noticed they're really bad at responding to these things.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like they have very poor social skills.
Yeah, underdeveloped social skills.
Yeah. So see that my thing with that is like, so of course, look, and I was openly critical about ZeRo after the fact. And like when I saw your Sky Williams video, I was like, what a dumbass. Why did he admit to it then? You know what I'm saying?
I had that same opinion, and truth be told, even after watching your video, after seeing so many different things, I still hold to that opinion. I think that regardless of and look, thank you for giving me the backstory, because here's the reality of it, Tech. I don't have time for all this crap. I really don't. I appreciate someone like you in the community coming together and asking questions, because I know that you can't take things for face value. You can't. The minute you do that, the minute you stop asking questions, you're a freaking tool. Okay.
You're guilty of the people that I basically criticize. So I try not to do that myself.
Correct. So getting caught up to speed, it's not to say, and I know you won't take this the wrong way, when I watch your videos are a platform for me to go, okay, wait a minute. Okay, is this true? Is this true? Is that true? Is this true? You know what I'm saying? It's not like I see tech and I go, here he goes. It's the gospel, baby. Technicals 3:25. It says here, and thou shalt betray Leffen. You know, no, I don't, that's not my thing, you know, but it helps me because it gives me a compass. It gives me a waypoint. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that helps me to make sense of this mess because again, I'm still involved in this. I still go. I still see a lot of people, and Florida is one of the major scenes. It just is.
It's a big
So,
one.
what was I going to say? Right, ZeRo. I'll put a bow on this. Right, his response, and I understand again, awkward kid, messed up childhood, wasn't fully integrated. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when ZeRo came here, he wasn't even a legal citizen. He came
Yeah,
over.
no. It was he would come on a visa, maybe
Yep,
stay for like a month, 3 months, go back to Chile, and
correct.
yeah.
I remember I read an article where he talked about the stress, and that's one of the reasons why he retired early, because
Mhm.
one of the things he said that gave him an edge was that he was fighting for his livelihood, whereas a
Yeah.
lot of these kids weren't. If he messed up and lost a tournament, he wouldn't be able to eat.
That's
So,
dedication right there.
yep, exactly. So for him, there was a very big competitive edge. There was a fight for survival. That coupled with a lot of other things. I don't really want to get into the nitty gritty on that or the weeds on that. This is stuff that you guys can all look into. All of that doesn't equate to squat because at the end of the day, when the allegations came out, he folded like a deck of cards. He folded, said things he shouldn't have. And honestly, he just made a giant mess, not only for himself, but for the community at large.
Yeah.
And having and knowing the things that I know now, it's great to know he's still really messed up.
Yeah.
He put both feet in his mouth with his Timbs on and socks.
Yeah. See, I
Oh,
think
fuck.
that one of the things though that people can't get past also, and this is again, this is looking at it, you know, with more nuance, right? With what we know now, right? What's publicly available now. And it's the fact that, you know, I get the argument that people have made. It's like, well, why would he admit to it then? Why would he admit to it then? And I'm just like, well, why would people admit to committing murders that they didn't commit? You know what I'm saying? Why would people, you know, the thing about it,
Fake confessions aren't like a thing that just came out like right now.
yeah,
Like that's
exactly. They happen all the time.
yeah. I'm not saying that that's like exactly what it was, but I'm saying you can't 100% disprove that this is not one of those scenarios unless you could like prove that he had motive to lie or that he is lying. But I mean, there's a picture of the police and paramedics outside his house
Yeah.
after he attempted suicide. So
Yeah. See, and that's what I'm saying. There's stuff that could be, we see stuff that is substantiated, right?
Right.
Like that. And here's
Go ahead,
another
go
thing.
ahead.
Here's another thing, right? And this is something that I remember. I don't know. I was probably telling you about this, man.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people that either are not too well informed about mental illness, they think that they can apply, you know, their rationale
Yep.
to that person, right? Like obviously us looking at it rationally, we're like, oh, that's fucking stupid that ZeRo did that. But again, you're expecting a person that is probably completely irrational because of their mental state to make a rational and logical decision.
yeah.
Well,
I'm saying?
well, for me, the reason I make that argument, and you know, full transparency, I have family members with mental health issues that they do wild stuff, and the most frustrating thing for I'll say quote unquote normal person is to see them acting this way, and you go, stop, you're doing this, and you're not going to get through to them arguing with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, one of the biggest frustrations for a person who has to deal with family members or friends that have mental health issues and they're having a moment. But my point with ZeRo isn't that I'm necessarily blanketing and covering the mental health issues with my rationale. He knew that he is a representative of the community. He knew that he was the number one player. Oftentimes, and I've this is personal anecdotes maybe, but once I keep hearing it from 5, 6, 7 different people and they're all saying the same thing, sorry, it becomes a grain of truth to me. Whenever they were encounters, ZeRo would say stuff like, this is for the community, this is for this is for, so he always took kind of an ambassador role to the community, whether people assigned it to him or not. So for him to do what he did, I'm sorry, I'm still going to sit back and be like, look, man, glad you're okay. Glad you didn't die. I'm glad you're coming full circle. I agree with you, technicals. He shouldn't be back in the tournament scene. Then again, he did retire and already wasn't a part of that. Blah 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 blah. But when he made those statements, he already pre-hand knew what he represented. When he
Yeah.
made his YouTube channel, he knew his reach. So
So
for him to do that, I'm just like, no, not cool.
your conclusion is that you don't think he should be uploading on YouTube, or
No. I agree with you on that. He should be allowed to upload on YouTube, because one thing that we didn't get into this, and I know the chat's talking about this. I'm from Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah.
And even though Puerto Rico is a part of the United States, we have our own separate laws, and our age of consent is 16. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. And that doesn't mean that that's okay. It just means that that's what the age of consent is over there.
Yeah, that's
Age
what I
of
was
16.
confused about. Like, part of their argument with the zap tie stuff is like, oh well, it's within the age of consent. Well, that doesn't mean it's morally correct. If you're like, because they were like, oh, she said she was 17. It's like, no, it was 16 or 17. You're giving him the charitable number,
Mhm.
16 or 17. And I think zap tie was either 20 or 19, but either way, it's like still a minor. So I mean,
Correct. So let me tell you what I encountered, because I lived on the island for a good 12 years as an adult, worked there and everything. One time, I used to do collections for like a cable company, repo boxes and all that stuff when people wouldn't pay their bill. And
Mhm.
one time I encountered this situation where a 56-year-old man had a baby with a 12-year-old girl.
Oh God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Parents knew about it. I had to go in and repo the box. There was the baby. That girl was in middle school, and that was an old guy. And
That's
that was,
whack.
yeah, super whack. I'm like, this is gross. This is the grossest crap I've ever seen.
Was it a high school dynamic?
What do you mean?
No, I'm just joking.
No,
Continue.
I'm sorry, I lost the thread. What?
Yeah, I just kind of threw that at you for no reason.
No, yeah, I'm like, what, high school, huh?
Yeah, was it a high school
Yeah,
dynamic?
no, it was just weird, dude, because like I went in there to collect the stuff, and the family was there, like the girl's parents were cool with it, because in their eyes, oh, our daughter will be taken care of. He's a truck driver. I'm like,
Mhm.
gross.
He's
Freaking
got bands. They're set.
I'm like, gross, but
we could live in here if anything.
right? But when,
Let's go.
but whenever the reason I'm saying that though, Tech, is because you say morally, is it correct? What we're really doing is we're saying, okay, according to our morality, which I agree with, or I believe that age of consent 18, whatever, you're older. Look, honestly, if you are 40 years old and you are talking to a 18-year-old, stop.
Yeah.
Just,
It's
I mean,
not,
I know it's
yeah.
legal, but come on, bro. Just try a little bit. Shoot
That's
a
the
little
thing I
higher.
don't get, is like there's such a big difference just in like maturity, and like, because if you're 18, you could already be driving, you could have like a credit card, a debit card, you could have a bank account open, you're doing all this other stuff, you're getting ready to go to college, and you're
Mhm.
telling me that it's fine to start dating a 15-year-old, a freshman. So when you're in college, you're going to be dating a sophomore in high school, is what you're saying? Or you just break it off because now it's magically not okay anymore. Like, I didn't understand where the fuck he was going with that.
Right. I didn't get it either. I'm sitting here going like, what are you talking about? I knew
Yeah.
guys that graduated and were still seeing their girlfriend who was a junior or sophomore.
I've always thought that was weird.
I personally find it weird, but we go back to that single argument. The parents, at least in my experience, knew.
Mm-hmm.
They knew. They were okay with it. These kids had known each other for a couple years. They met each other when they were both underage. So I mean, if the parents are cool with it, I'm not going to trip about it. That's a different circumstance than you're an adult. You don't know this person at all, and you're engaging with them from the point in which they're a minor.
Yeah.
Am I making
Well,
sense, or is that?
No, yeah, I get it. And the issue with this is like they try to bring up the whole catfishing thing. It's like, oh yeah, she was either 14 or 15 and lied about being 16 or 17. Like that's not a big jump, dude. That's and like it regardless of what she told him her age was, you can't have provocative pictures of like an 8-year-old on your fucking phone. It doesn't matter if they're 100% nude, it's still fucking disgusting. So I didn't get what they were trying to say. It's like, well, she still had clothes on, so it's not a bad thing. He was not doing anything wrong. Like, okay.
Yeah,
Dude, I don't care if she was wearing a sundress.
See, I think
Yeah.
If she was biting her lower lip, we're done.
one of the
That shit
things
is
that
weird.
one of the things that I find that is interesting is the fact that I keep seeing people using arguments against you that they're using stuff that actually hasn't been substantiated yet,
At all.
which I find that to be
At
very
all.
interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Considering, because to me, look, I'm a facts and evidence person, right? And not just evidence, because evidence is not fact until it is substantiated. You know what I mean? So I'm very specific with it. I say, I'm facts. I'm about facts and substantiated evidence,
Mhm.
because that's the stuff that's irrefutable. See, the stuff with ZeRo, right? Like with the messages and things like that. I mean, we have some messages that we see. Yeah, on the surface they're cringe, they're creepy, they're a little bit creepy. There's one that is suggestive, but at no point, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I didn't see any messages that are sexual or sexually charged. You know what I mean?
From the
Suggestive, like I said, suggestive, but not sexually charged. Like I didn't see anything where there's any solicitation of sex.
Wait, are you talking about the ZeRo case?
Yeah.
I think you could argue that the message where he's talking about calling her a cat and talking about rubbing her belly, and then he's like,
Yeah.
why only do that? Yeah, you could definitely
Yes.
call him out for that. That's
Yeah.
weird.
And I'm saying that is suggestive, right? But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is there's no messages that, at least that I saw, and again, maybe there's one, maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong on this. I didn't see anything that is overtly sexual.
Yeah, it's funny because in the Zaptai case, there's literally a screenshot of their conversation where it says "fuck me," and then he says,
my.
"I can't wait to."
Oh shit!
And he's all like,
wait, no, I can't wait to play Mario with you.
and Nick is all like, Nick is trying to say the context to this is probably he wasn't talking about the "fuck me" thing. He was talking about the "I would go to jail for you" quote. Because he said it was like a joke and they didn't have enough context because she didn't show enough of the screenshots. But what's the punchline to that part that's in the same screenshot? Like, where's the setup for the joke on that one? I like they're giving him all these passes and then they're on my ass. They're like, well, I can never apologize for the Ice Cube thing, where there's actual no screenshots of it.
That's what I'm saying. See, and that's one of the things that I find interesting is that it's either somebody's going back to the Ice Cube argument, or they're going to again, sexting. I was like, but there's no sexting in those messages. What, like I said, you could argue that there is some suggestive stuff there, right?
Yeah.
No doubt, but there is nothing overtly sexual in them. And the other thing too, obviously, and nobody would ever ask for this. Obviously, we're not seeing an exchange of those pictures, right? And I don't even see any messages where he's saying, hey, send me a picture of you topless, send me a picture of you nude, none of that, right?
Yeah.
So all that is it's assumption. It's just like, well, if he was talking like this, maybe you could assume that that's fine, but it doesn't make it a fact that he did get those things. You know what I mean?
It's speculation at that point. And it's fair. Like, you can think that, but it's like, if you can't prove it, why are you presenting to me like it's fact? Because in their case, Zaptai also had a confession, and in his confession, he said it was wrong that he talked to a 16-year-old. Like, he said, like, that's in his confession. I could read. Hold on, I have it right here.
It just so happens.
Was talking to a 16-year-old a fucked up thing to do? Yes, won't challenge that. But it seemed like Augie was challenging me on that point, which was weird. I was like, dude, even the guy you're defending isn't defending that. So why are you? He's like, nope. I don't think that was endangering children. I don't think that made him a threat to children. Like, okay.
I'm just gonna be silly here, but could you imagine the debt that those guys must owe Zaptai in order to come to his defense so hard when it's obvious to anybody who just has cursory knowledge of the situation? Like, I would love to know how that goes about, that they get on you, but they'll defend him for actually engaging.
Yeah.
I'm lost on that because go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying there's more proof on that case that he did something wrong that they're saying is like some unforgivable shit. And they're kind of like, moral grandstanding about me.
Right.
And they're like, I went back and looked at their arguments. Like, Augie was on stream talking about like, oh, of course it makes sense that he attempted suicide after this, because this is like the two main things that would cause suicide is your friends turning on you and losing your career and all this stuff. And like, even Nick was making some sympathy arguments in the video. So I was like, why are they saying I'm sympathy baiting? This shit is way more apologetic.
Absolutely. But because the thing is that it's like they all got together and go, okay, we know this looks bad, but this is our boy and we've got to defend him. What do we do? You do this, you do that, and then along comes technicals. Nah, man, that's really whack, guys. Shut up, shut up. We all came to an agreement. Shut up, you're ruining it.
If they were morally consistent about what they were attacking and defending, it wouldn't even be a problem.
Right.
See, my thing with everything, right? Like I said, if people are making the argument, right, that I understand, right? If people are just like, well, look, because we don't know, he shouldn't ZeRo shouldn't be in back in tournaments. But as we already know, because you established this, especially earlier tonight, hey, he had already been gone from tournaments. He wasn't coming back. He had retired.
Yeah.
But let's just say that was right an argument that was being presented by somebody. Oh, you're trying to say that he's that you're trying to bring him back, right? Obviously, look, I would be of the camp that, look, because we don't know anything for sure, I would be fine with saying, hey, look, let's not take the chance because we don't know.
Right.
And that's fine, right? Of him not coming to the tournament settings and things like that. So I'm in agreement there with Willie of like, hey, look, just don't bring him back to a tournament. Say that's fine if you don't know and you don't want to take that chance.
The thing about like the chance of giving him his platform back and like him uploading content, right, is because think about it, like the one issue that's the biggest, most legitimate issue, right? Like I'm not going to downplay it. It's a big issue that happened 7 years ago. Well, after he got with his now wife, and he actually became famous and he actually had like 1 million subs, more money, more access and more assets. He did nothing. You're telling me he didn't act on that? He's got so much money and he's not acting on it with his platform because
like Garrett.
Yeah.
So if you want to tell me that he's going to use his platform to threaten children, well, at his peak, he didn't even do this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When we've seen with other cases, right, with people that have been busted and, people have come and they've shown the receipts, right? We've seen a consistent pattern of behavior with that, right? Minilad, right?
Yep.
Minilad, right? He got outed, right?
Didn't he get convicted? I'm not sure. Who's the one that got convicted? Was it?
I think
Red
it was
Ruiz?
Austin Jones. I think Austin Jones
You guys would
was
know more
the
about that
one
than I do.
that
I don't know too
got
much.
convicted. That got arrested and got convicted.
I know about
Jones.
creepy produce. That's all I know.
But look, like with like Minilad, right? Minilad was, and he's still on the platform. This was crazy, but that's neither here nor there. My point in bringing up Minilad is when he had somebody come out or he had people come out and accuse him, right? They actually had something to back it up, and they also had an admission from Minilad. See, with the ZeRo situation here, right? We have this Katie person come out and say she does confirm something very important, right? That ZeRo did know her age. We know that, right?
Yeah,
it's in the chats. But you would think, right, if you really want to go for the jugular, because that's what these Minilad girls, these girls with Minilad did. They went for the jugular. They showed it all, like the irrefutable stuff. You would also think that with that, right, she shows proof of the age, but you're not seeing proof of any real wrongdoing, any proof of a mess. And again, not saying for pictures because nobody's asking for that, but sexually charged messages.
Yeah, you're saying for like the really heavy stuff.
Yeah, her or him soliciting her for stuff. You would think, because that would be a game ender right there.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
But can't argue that.
There's nothing there.
Sorry, go ahead, technicals. I don't know if you were going to say something right now.
No, that was my statement.
Okay, so one thing that I want to say really quick, I'm just going to play, and I hate saying this, but I'm going to do this, just to play devil's advocate for just a moment. Being a parent, I'm only saying this from the perspective of a parent, right, of 3, and I still have one that's
you have the right.
Right. My thing with the whole ZeRo situation is this. We have a limited amount of logs. We don't know to the full extent of how they talk to each other, how long this went on for, right?
I think the duration was like 3 months. It was from September to like December, like end of December.
Sure. And maybe in ZeRo's mind, he's like, this is just a conversation. This is probably not going to go anywhere. But then we come to the pinnacle of this whole situation, which is, did he actually solicit those pictures? Because we don't have a chat log of it. And the pictures that we know of were never sent. ZeRo says he did solicit the pictures, or did he walk that statement back? Did he
walked it back?
He walked it back and said he never solicited them, right?
The thing is, she had said then something about the ice cube. He admitted to it, but then he walked that back.
Right. And
Yeah.
that is the conundrum that we're all in right now. And me as a parent, that's the number one, just the conversation, the creepiness of the weirdness. Let me not even say weirdness, just the weirdness of that conversation. No, he was definitely going somewhere with that. And it's irrelevant. I'm not going to condemn him for it. But just the fact that now we're in this situation where did he really solicit that or didn't he? And I'm sorry, him walking the statement back isn't enough for me. It really isn't
that's
enough
fair.
for me.
That's fair. Yeah.
But even with that being said, he is now married to a woman who is of his age. I understand where he came from. The fact that he didn't integrate into this country, because a lot of people don't understand that, right? A lot of people don't get that. When you come from another country, when I was in Puerto Rico for almost 12 years, when I came back with a freaking accent.
Yeah.
Okay. I came back with an accent. I drove a certain type of way. No, I'm not trying to talk about stereotypes here, but I drove a certain type of way. I carried myself in a certain type of fashion because I had lived somewhere else for 12 years. And that was a different territory from the United States. I lived here for a period of time, lived in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And then came back
I don't want
as
to
an
throw
adult.
too much shade on like Chile. He came from like a rural part of Chile.
Sure.
I think it's more to do with like just him being a stunted Smash player, which is already bad, but then like being exposed to sex at the age of 5, being molested in middle school and just like missing out on most of middle school. It's like, yeah, it's not, I'm not justifying it. Those aren't excuses. I'm just saying like that's his, if you're going to do a psychoanalysis, that's where you start.
Right. And none of us are psychologists. Let's be full on with that. However, you're not going to sit here and tell me bold-faced, oh, that shouldn't affect his ability to integrate and to socialize with other people. You're so full of shit.
Yeah, that's just straight up lying.
Shut up.
You don't have to be a psychologist to know that someone being like their upbringing can affect how they grow and how they end up. It doesn't justify their actions, but if you don't understand that, then you don't understand like a human fucking concept.
Let me explain something to you that if you look into this, or if anybody in the chat wants to look into this, if you have a parent or you have someone within your family that you spend a lot of time with and you bond with them or whatever, and they have mental health issues, it's not to say that you could catch a case of bipolar disorder or borderline personality disorder, but you will reflect and copy behavior of that person if you're very close to them and spend an extended period of time with them. That is not uncommon, especially when a parent is the one that suffers from this psychological disorder. Okay. What's the usual common cure for children and people that integrate themselves with a person like this? Once they pull away, once they're their own person, once they get time separated from this person. Okay. If as a child, you can imitate your parents and imitate the things that they do, even the breathing patterns, right? We've discovered that through psychology and through child psychology and through a lot of other things. Mental health is another thing. You will imitate inappropriate behavior. You will imitate certain things. And I'm not saying
the issue is if it becomes a pattern.
Right.
And when you look at this case, when you look at how he's grown over the years, you don't see that developing or manifesting into something malicious or something that could be seen as like a consistent threat to like society or his platform.
I would say quite the opposite. I would say that over the years outside of this incident, and mind you, I just want to say this, just because we don't, okay, he had this slip up 7 years ago, that doesn't mean it's the only minor he didn't talk to. We just don't know about it, and his best interest, he probably shouldn't talk about it. Truthfully.
Yeah. And
if it did happen.
Nick got on my ass for calling it a slip up. So let me just clarify. It was a bad interaction. Like it was morally incorrect.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, Nick.
Yeah. Nick, if you're paying attention, Nick.
God damn.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we've seen, like I said, with other people that have been dinged on this stuff. You know what I mean? And there's been more consistent.
And I want to clarify this because Technicals did clarify this. I want to say this again. I'm not advocating on how ZeRo should defend themselves or anyone that is having interactions with a minor. I'm saying point blank, I'm of the mindset that, okay, this is what we know of. We don't know what we don't know, but the little that we do know is enough for me to agree with you, Tech, and be like, no, I wouldn't want you around my kid. I really wouldn't.
And
But
that's why I say that, because it's like I can understand if people
yeah,
look at this and they're like one and done, stay away from my kids. You
correct.
know, like that's really fair. And if people believe that, I think that should be a consistent like baseline.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
But also
there's
go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say there's a massive difference between what they think is exonerating people and humanizing them.
Correct.
You don't
And
have to exonerate someone for them to be a human again to consider like all
honestly,
the issues.
I've never thought in my lifespan that I would hate the word exonerate until this whole situation. I hate the word.
Yeah.
I want to go a week without hearing the freaking word. Humanize, or really honestly, what I think that you're doing and what we all do, John, I, all my circle of friends, is we believe that people have the opportunity to have a path to redemption.
Hmm.
No one is irredeemable. Well, okay, there are some exceptions,
Yeah.
but I'd say,
There's some.
yeah, there's most people though are not. People, I mean, God, listen, seriously, there are some people that made stupid mistakes when they were kids. Both of my hands are up right now. Many stupid things that I did as a kid that I should have gotten in big trouble for. Thank God I didn't. That I
Because it
would
wasn't on the
never do
internet.
now. No,
Yeah.
there was no internets. You ain't finding nothing
Papa
none
bless.
of that, you
Yeah.
know. But stupid
That
stuff, like jumping fences and going into people's yards when you shouldn't have because you wanted a shortcut, or just dumb stuff, dumb shit that kids do. And you're gonna sit there and you're gonna like beat. How old is ZeRo now?
I think he's 26 turning 27.
Right, he's almost 30. You're gonna keep berating him for what he did when he was 19, and not for nothing, man. Was on top of the world in Smash. He was a freaking D-list celebrity, but whatever, celebrity nonetheless. I've seen celebrities with way more fame do way more horrible, unspeakable things, and people still
And
love them.
I get it. Like if this is something that just came out, you form your opinion on it. It objectively, it's wrong. It should be for most people. I'm not sure because this is more like a high school dynamic.
Yep.
So you got to factor that in for sure. And then provide the consequences. I think people kind of get carried away with the consequences and make it so they can't fucking live their life anymore. But that's just me.
Yeah, and I get exactly where you're coming from with that. Like I said, there's in each situation, I get where people get immediately concerned, right, when they hear about people of adult or people of adult age, interacting with minors or legally what's legally considered children, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to look out for the best interests of kids, you know what I mean? And that's why I said, like, I'm okay with people saying, okay, look, he shouldn't be allowed to tournament. That's fine because he had already retired anyways, and it doesn't look like that's what he's lobbying for. It doesn't look like that's what you're lobbying for.
Yeah,
You know
he's
what I mean?
never wanted that. He's like he's been affected by this so poorly. I don't even think he could go to an event and like actually enjoy himself or like without having a relapse.
Yeah. See, so again, I understand people, but the whole thing now becomes, because again, I think it's really taken away from this, again, the double standard, the hypocrisy of the
Yep.
community
Big
with
time.
with Nairo, right? Because we have a person that actually did act on something, has never walked that back, and not just him confirming it, but also the other person in the scenario, right? Captain Zach. We have an admission from two people that have never denied that this happened. The only difference that we have from when it initially came out is the circumstances under which it happened. Initially, we got the apology from Nairo, right? Saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Zach. I did this, that, or the other." And then a couple months later, all of a sudden, the story changed. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, all that stuff happened, but you got to understand, I was the victim.
Then he also said that his friend wrote that confession, which is funny because it's like this is probably one of the most important documents he'll ever draft, and you genuinely want me to believe that he got one of his random friends to draft up this document, didn't read it at all, didn't approve it at all, and then just had it posted?
Yeah.
Like if that's really the case, then damn, kudos to you not giving a shit, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't really buy that.
Yeah, and again, but he was welcomed back with open arms, and that's the thing. It's just like he did something that, again, objectively speaking, looking at it, is worse because it's something that has been substantiated.
Yeah, and he submitted an appeal to 2 large tournament organizers to get unbanned. He was taken off the global ban registry. And at the same time, he needs to be unbanned from Twitch or else he can't show up at tournament streams. And people are really going to sit here and tell me that this movement has nothing to do with him competing. Like, that is so fucking disingenuous. Like, you are actually just speaking out of your ass.
100%. And that's one of the things, like I said, that I appreciate about the video is just like, yeah, you know, something needs to be done. I think this is fair because, you know, it's, you know, people are saying, oh, but this, that, or the other, the situations are different and blah, blah, blah. It's like, listen, you could try to sing that tune all you want. But again, if you're going to be consistent with the rules, the standards that you've set forth, right, you can't make an exception to the rule because then the exception becomes the rule.
Correct.
Even in his most charitable situation, the situation that he outlined, that he was blackmailed on the second day when he was fully awake. Like, I don't really need to argue the first day where he was apparently sexually assaulted in his sleep, because that's irrelevant. We moved to the second day. He's now getting blackmailed. He's provided an ultimatum. Either he loses his career or he allows his 15-year-old to perform oral sex on him. And what does he choose? He chooses the oral sex and then a cover story for 3 years. So from my perspective, I think there's no fucking way you could ever consider him innocent. What the fuck? What is that? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to all these different people and tell them to get their story straight. This is different from Ally, who had a consensual relationship with him. Oh yeah, don't tell anyone because this would hurt X's feelings. It's like, you're actively hiding the story too. What the fuck?
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, right? With the situation, that's something I appreciate about the Nairo video was that we got more evidence to suggest that, look, what happened, right? After
that
Nairo
shit has been out for months. That shit is not new.
Yeah.
They use that as a defense, like it makes them look smarter.
Yeah, but even that with that, right? We know now that we know that, right? It's just like, well, it looks like it was a lot more consensual than what this guy is trying to say that it wasn't.
I mean, the thing is that there's so many twists and turns to this story, Tech, that I commend you for wanting to put up with this nonsense.
It's
because
annoying,
the thing is that you could say things a million different ways. Like, okay, let me put this in a contextual way that people can probably make, you know, because I don't want to be too dark, you know, although we've made light of plenty of things. It's kind of like I work with the elderly a lot, right? And the thing that always cracks me up is, you know, I'll tell them, because I work at a medical center for the elderly, and no, not a mental health facility or anything like that. It's a nice little facility that helps the elderly, you know, get medical care. And I'll tell them, okay, grandma, grandpa, this is what we do. You can come and see the doctor here. Okay, so when I come and see the doctor, you're the nurse? No, grandma, grandpa, I'm not the nurse. Are you the doctor? I'm not the doctor either. This is the doctor. I'm just bringing you. So you're the doctor. So they call me at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, telling me what's wrong with them. And I'm like, I am not a doctor. And I feel like you keep repeating yourself, and it's got to irritate you to some degree that people, for the love of it, I think they just do it to, honestly, man. Willful ignorance is something that pisses me off so hard, because I'm seeing it in the chat right now.
Yeah, I try so hard to like say specifically what I mean, and then people like decontextualize it and then make it some basic phrase that I never even fucking said.
Yep.
Like, oh, what? Because I knew they were gonna try to make the bringing back to arguments tournament. What? Bringing back to tournaments argument. Sorry, I'm. Sorry.
It's all right, man. It's all right.
That's why I threw in the Nairo bit, because at the same time they're doing the discourse on the ZeRo stuff, they're contradicting themselves with the Nairo case. So it immediately gave me that tweet from Fatality where he admitted to there being room for doubt for his story, but he believed him anyways and gave him an apology. It's like, if there's room for doubt that he engaged sexually, consensually with a 15-year-old, you don't let them back at events. I'm sorry. That's not, you don't budge on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Liability at that point, because this, again, it's a situation where we know for a fact that happened.
What I find hilarious is that there's people that sit here and they morally grandstand and go, there's nothing worse than a person who diddles kids. And then they go and defend a person that diddles kids. And you're like, bro, what are you?
And I'm not even trying to cancel this Zaptai dude, because I don't give a shit. I'm just saying, if you're going to make moral stances, be consistent.
Yep. Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, why are you coming at me for shit that you're doing?
Yeah.
And I would argue their arguments are fucking worse. If I went and looked through all their arguments, which I did, I have timestamps here, which they weren't playing while the debate was going, but I have like quotes where Nick was saying, "Oh, it's legal to have sex with a 16-year-old in Washington, so all the Brits getting on his ass in the comments can take the stick out of their ass." It's like, just because it's legal to go fuck a 16-year-old doesn't mean you should just be fucking 16-year-olds. Like, I'm 24, I wouldn't go do that.
See, you know, what's interesting to me is, right, when you go back, like, and again, I'll step back to the ZeRo stuff just for a second here, right? What I find interesting also is that you're running on information from somebody that was a bad actor in this situation, that being Jisoo. Some of that information, right?
You said the name.
This is a person that obviously, I mean, from what we know and what we see publicly, not only fabricated information, you know what I mean, but completely misrepresented some other information and just flat out lied about other things too.
Yeah, a lot of the issue was that she was so desperate to get things on ZeRo that she was taking anything. It was a mass like psychosis of confirmation bias, where anything she heard that was negative was instantly added to the document.
Yes. What's crazy to me, right? The flat out lie, right? The fact that with ZeRo's wife. Oh, she was 15 at the time. What? Huh?
Yeah, like, and at the top of her document, it's like all of the information has been fucking approved by the victims mentioned. Like, you instantly shit on that.
Oh, yeah. and just as a final note before we get into, you know, because I see we got somebody.
Yeah, we got Aura joining us. Origami.
So what's up? One thing that I just want to go ahead and say, like, I had been out of the scene for a while when that ridiculously long document reared its head. I think I had maybe a day to get context on what was going on, and while I was muddling through it, I'm like, is this Jisoo person a good person? I mean, like, I'm so confused. There's so many things that are, and I remember we did a live stream on it and I went through it as best as I could, and I'm like, well, she seems like a good person, but why is she gathering information? Like, was Laura the one that was saying that she was of age and felt like ZeRo was using her?
That was a different one. Yeah, that was a different one from like Chile.
All I know is we were on the stream and I'm like, you can kiss my ass with that. Get out of here with that. You're an adult. That's your interpretation. Be gone. Be gone.
Yeah, I think you were a little bit more terrible than me.
I was because I didn't know.
Yeah, see, me, I was just like, this bitch lying.
Well, it was weird. It was a weird stretch because she was saying stuff like, "Oh, don't worry, because this establishes the promiscuous behavior." And it's like, if you go after a woman for trying to get with a bunch of dudes and like she cuts them off, that's not going to be a real point. Like, you don't give a shit. Yeah. So why is that relevant at all?
Exactly. It's not. Aura here is joining us. Aura, you good?
I'm fantastic, though. I just got out of work early.
Beautiful. Yeah, Aura joining us here today because Aura was also a part of the local Smash community here in Florida.
Was he?
He used to play. Yeah, he used to play.
Where at, bro?
I used to play like at small tourneys, like GameStops and stuff. You know, I was never good enough. To me, I was never good enough.
You're good enough for me, Poppy.
That's literally where the name Origami comes from. I used to be a fucking Lucario main back in the day, but whatever.
That's not too bad. At least you weren't a Dr. Mario main.
Whatever.
Oh my god!
I ain't even gonna get into it.
Up there is savage. Stop.
I hopped into a weird point. So what part are you going on? Are you going over the Jisoo doc or?
Yeah, we're talking about like the issues with the grown women that were thrown in the document for no reason.
Oh, yeah, that part. Okay, cool. So now, yeah, I'm pretty much up to speed. So where are you taking it from here? Are you still going over the doc?
I don't know, Toy. Where are you going?
That's kind of one of the baseline things I wanted to talk about because again, you know, this really all started with the Sky Williams video. I think that's the one that really kind of turned people's heads. That was kind of the catalyst initially for all this stuff. You know, it's been a roller coaster ride since that one.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the stuff with Sky, right, and the stuff that you brought forth with that, you know, which obviously helped them immensely. You know, and again, I think with the ZeRo follow-up, like I said, I felt that was a primer for the Nairo stuff. And I don't think, like I said, people have been saying like the whole exonerate thing. I don't think.
Please stop saying that word. Can we just agree that we're not going to say that word for the rest of the damn stream? Don't say Exo Squad. I don't give a damn. Just don't say that word.
Well, John, I don't know if you thought this was weird or not because I think I actually asked Technicals this the other day. Isn't it weird? Like there was like zero backlash no pun intended, for having ZeRo on the stream with not the stream, the video for Sky Williams Vindication, because that's more of a vindication video, I think.
Yeah. Didn't
Yeah.
we talk about that?
We did.
Yeah.
But I was, it still surprises me, and I don't know if you thought the same thing, John, but like how no one like discredited or was angry that, you know, like, oh, you platformed a pedophile, you know, like nothing, no backlash when ZeRo was in that video. I find it very like interesting, like, you know, like now that he's presenting ZeRo in the spotlight, just like his handlement of it is like what triggered everybody. It's odd. I thought people would have a problem when he was in it originally.
Yeah, and people say I backpedaled the welcome back thing because of the start of the Nairo thing. It wasn't a backpedal, it was a clarification because people were taking it out of context to mean what it didn't. And I say, even though I never made that argument, I thought that I should clear that up. That's the only reason I clarified. I'm not backpedaling it. I still welcome back to content.
But by the way, Aura, do you have that word? What is it called? Oh my God, trademarked?
Trademark? No, I should.
Handlement. I love it.
Yeah. No, I should. I thought about it.
Handlement.
Yeah. So I don't know about you, John. Did you think that's interesting too, or was I the only one that like that?
Because the thing is, again, look, obviously a clear difference, right? Because it really started with that. That was already, you know, that
it was like a foreshadowing. I think
that's what I see of the ZeRo video, obviously, you know. And then with the Nairo stuff and the ZeRo video, which, like I said, I felt was more of a primer. But yeah, exactly. Why weren't? I guess maybe because you didn't get into as much details. I guess the issue was, again, is probably more the humanization aspect of the ZeRo video is what people took and said, well, you know, you're just making excuses for him.
Yeah, well, the reason he was in the Skyhouse video in the first place was because the Skyhouse video was supposed to encompass everything that happened under his roof.
Yes.
So yeah, that shit with ZeRo was relevant. So I was like, we're gonna address these couple points, and then we're gonna go in full detail with the other points later because it's not really relevant right now.
Yeah, which again, you know, with the stuff that happened there, right? Which even again, that was a situation where he seemed to admit to something that didn't actually happen, at least by the accounts that you of the people that lived in the house at the time when this was said to have happened. And
well,
go ahead.
It's not 100% disprovable, but the likelihood of it is pretty low, is what I was trying to say, because it didn't really make any sense. There wasn't like any like she had this whole group chat of a lot of the roommates. None of them could back her up, or no one was like, yeah, I agree with her. This was happening.
Yeah,
wow,
weird.
Which again, that's another thing too to consider, right? You know, people, and I think it's fair if people are just like, well, how do we know they're just not lying for ZeRo? It's just like, well, we don't. So I mean, I think that would be fair for people to bring that up.
But that's a lazy argument. That's a lazy argument about, well, you can't prove it. Well, look, dude, it's kind of like,
the thing is,
it's like you do the research, right? You do the research, you make an argument, you make a valid point, you present something, and then people go, well, you can't prove it didn't happen either. Shut up.
It's trying to prove a negative because she has no evidence. So you're trying to, someone's like, you raped me, and then you have to prove that it didn't happen. Like, that's fucking impossible to do. Unless, that's impossible.
Yeah, look no further than Schrodinger's cat. Hey, just a real quick thing here. Since Aura kind of did it when he came in, who is your main technicals, or who is your main in Smash?
Fox McCloud.
Fox McCloud, man of culture.
Yes, sir.
Barrel roll.
Sorry, what does that make me? What does that make me? You didn't even analyze what never mind. It doesn't matter. I don't want to know.
No. I told you. I said you're doing it right. At least it wasn't Dr. Mario.
Okay, still, that's like the pity thing. Well, it could be worse. That's whatever, dog.
Hey, a lot of characters are viable in this game, so this game is kind of lit to watch, like, dude, on streams and stuff.
I play Bowser. I play Bowser. I'm a Bowser main, and I always said,
dick. Why? Oh my god! Nothing. Go ahead. Keep going.
What did I do?
Bro,
I'm sorry if up B is effective on frame 1. Don't get mad at me about it.
All right, go ahead.
All right, but I always found it real funny when people were like, "No, Bowser's bottom of the barrel." I'm like, "Nah, bro, nah."
Look at Leon, dude. Look at Leon. You see him killing motherfuckers at like ZeRo with that Bowser side. That shit is
good night.
Yeah.
There's some nasty Bowsers out there. It's
dude, watching the Pac-Man T do so well at main stage, that was awesome. I don't care who says it's lame. That shit was clean.
No, it was. there's just something like I don't want to take over, John. I just got a question I didn't get to ask. So like one of the criticisms, actually technicals from one of your videos, the ZeRo one in particular, is you didn't really put in everything that would make people happy. Do you feel like putting in everything, all the bit of the context, all the twit-longers and everything would have actually changed anything? Or do you think
like I think when they say that they're talking about the Katie images. There's some that were just like really fucking stupid. So I put in the belly rubbing one, like some of the really bad ones, right?
the most damaging ones or damning ones, I guess you say?
And then talking about the Ice Cube things. Like I'd get it if I didn't talk about the Ice Cube things, but like I'm not gonna fucking read every single one. Like that's public. You can go look at that.
Yeah. That's my thoughts too. You know, because I'm like, this information is not hard to find. You can easily Google it.
Yeah.
So like I would get if it's hard to find and it was only found on your video. And then like, oh, he cut the context out, this took forever
there
to
was
find.
like 15 screenshots or something, and some of them were just like really stupid shit. So I was like, okay,
adorable, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, let me illustrate the point I'm trying to make, that these conversations were inappropriate, and then fucking go into the argument I'm making.
Yeah. And like this is kind of like real time thing. I don't mean to derail nothing, but I missed your debate. I was working, so I have no idea what happened. But I'm seeing like the timeline like flood up and down a little bit. Some people are saying you lied about anything. Did you do you even know what they're talking about?
Well, like some of the stuff, Augie was just like he was really losing his shit. He was like, you lied. Now you've lied like 4 times. And it's like, okay, bro. Yeah, sure. And it's like, when he brought up the fact that I cropped the confession from ZeRo when I was reading it, like I was watching his video where it's like ZeRo possibly lied to technicals, and I was like, what the fuck is this about? And he's like pointing out the crop and stuff, but he clarified, he's like, I don't think he did this maliciously, blah blah blah. But I still thought it was weird, because I was like, dude, the thing that I cropped, I fucking talked about earlier. So what are we even doing here? Is this just like
and plus the twit-longer is also public, easily available.
And also ZeRo posted it in his statement video, like the full thing. It's not like I was trying to. It was just a weird point.
One thing they keep bringing up too that I know nothing about, and I don't know if you've spoken about it already or you want to just talk about it on your own time. But what is this thing that you had DMs with ZeRo and it's like you're lying or something like that? What is that? I don't know.
Oh, that DM? Yeah, that DM that people keep posting is like, because Katie is anonymous. She doesn't exist. She doesn't have a Twitter. She doesn't have anything. No Facebook, no nothing. She deleted everything. And the only person that has her information is Jisoo.
Jisoo, yes.
So
that's very suspicious.
Yeah, I had leads and I was trying to get in touch with her. Everyone was shutting me down. I wasn't able to like have a conversation with her, ask her for clarification on the images or anything. So that conversation is literally just like a desperation move. It's like, well, if Jisoo gets canceled, maybe we'll actually be able to figure out who Katie is.
That's interesting.
So yeah, can I point something out and see what you guys think of? Wouldn't it be very opportune for Jisoo to get a hold of Katie right now and like just destroy you technicals? Isn't this the best time to do it?
Yeah, she's had like over 4 months to do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. On top of like right now, it's the most prime opportune. That's one of ZeRo's biggest you know what I mean? Like not detractors, but like, that's his downfall right there. You would think that this is the prime opportunity to just go cutthroat.
That's his kryptonite.
Instead, she's been blocking anyone that calls her out on it, and she's been like avoiding the internet.
And I find it very interesting that not enough eyes are on that right now, because I know the conversations about ZeRo, but I'm like, there's other things going on that I find very interesting that make this story suspicious, as we're talking about right now.
Well, wait a minute.
And just real quick before we get into that part, I just want people to know in the chat, if you're sending super chats, I will read them. It'll be at the end when we get to the end here. And if Tech wants to stick around, because maybe there's going to be a couple questions for him in those super chats that I think there are. So it's up to you, Tech.
Okay.
If you want to stick around to answer
those. I don't want him to waste their money. I'll stick it out for you.
So just to let you all know, I will answer the super chats. I promise you. It'll not to. We don't want to derail the conversation. So for those of you sending them, trust me, we will get to them. It'll be at the end though, so just please stick around if you did super chat something, and especially if you wanted to ask technical something, we'll go over that at the end.
And I am actually, while I'm staying silent and listening to the conversation, I am actually going through the chat, so I see you guys. But no, I found it funny that the way that Origami kind of like phrased things. Isn't it funny? Isn't it interesting? What if Jisoo is Katie.
Yeah.
Well,
I honestly did think that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. Yes, I do speculate. That is one of the things. It's a speculation, though. I'm not gonna
let's
say
put
anything
our
definitive.
tinfoil hats on, boys.
And let me
Yeah.
tell you,
Yeah, there. Jesus was Katie. Jesus was
Yeah.
Katie.
Katie's
Prove me wrong.
Katie's a man.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
No, right? Oh,
It
ZeRo.
It reminds me of that clip I always send you of fucking Vince McMahon aura. You know, it's me, Austin. It was me all along.
I just think
Like
that
I'm not doubting that she's a real person, but when you're doing this, like I want to confirm, like I'm not trying to dox her. Like I actually just wanted to reach out to her and talk to her.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with this stuff and you don't know who they are or you can't confirm anything, it's like hard to be objective with your points.
Well, it's not. Yeah, exactly. It's not about trying to willfully, out somebody that is trying to remain, quote unquote anonymous, right?
Yeah.
It's more of, again, it's just getting clarification. It's just getting the whole story, right? Doing the due diligence, trying to substantiate what's out there. You know what I mean? And that's
if she's got more to say, I'm fucking added it in. Like,
well, yeah. Sorry, real quick, because like I want to make this comparison. It's probably not comparable, but the Call Me Carson situation, right? His accuser, Sam, if I remember her name was correctly, she was very vocal. She was out there all the time. You know what I mean? Arguing why she thought this and that. You know what I'm saying? We're not really seeing this here. You know what I mean? So that's one of the oddest points. You know what I mean? This is a very unknown figure.
She says all she wanted was an apology, and then I kind of feel bad for her because her story, I don't know who she is, but her story was peddled through Jisoo, so automatically like that fucks with like her credibility, and it probably makes it harder for her to talk about it.
It's your razor red flag, right?
Yeah. That's true too. Yeah,
but when she was making the twit longer, they were actually texting, and I think they were having back and forth where she was checking on it or giving her advice on the twit longer and shit. So I don't know. It's just knowing how much fake information that Jisoo peddled. It's hard for even me to give it a little bit more credibility, but I'm trying to be fair here. I'm like, okay, this is like objectively what exists, and this is wrong.
Well,
and that makes total sense to me anyway.
To the point of the whole situation, I don't know why just the whole joking around about Katie being Jisoo and all that other kind of crap reminded me of one of the early FBI's best informants, which historically has the worst name. It didn't age well. His name was Deep Throat.
No fucking way. You're a liar. Like,
This is Cap.
Yeah, but that was their name. Call me Deep Throat. Anyways. Book written,
demonetized.
Well, I mean, hey, that was the name. That's his story.
It was a different era. It was a different era back then.
Very different era. But anyways, there's a book written about it, lots of stuff about it. But think about this for a moment. That informant would tell people things and would point them to a direction where they could verify what the heck it is this person was talking about. So to your point, Tech, you wanting to verify that Katie's a real person, which you believe she is, and just wanting to have a conversation with her, nobody, unless they attribute malicious intent to you, whatever. I don't personally think you would dox her. I don't think you would do any of that.
Well,
that's fucked.
It's the impression that they already have, I think, of you, Tech, right? They think, oh, you just want to harass her. And it's just like, no, I just want to get her side of the story. I want to get the truth.
Yeah. Like if there's no way in these cases that when I'm blocked and they're actively talking shit about me, I could go hit up Jisoo or like Leffen and get their take. Like it's just not happening. So the people I am getting takes from are relevant because they've made their argument. Their side is out there. That's what people are agreeing with. That's what they're saying is like their position. So I'm responding to their position with relevant sources, witnesses, et cetera, almost like a defense attorney, if you will. That's why the detective thing kind of fits.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're getting your witnesses and things like that. I mean, it's again, and it's more, look, it's at least something, right? It's an effort at trying to do something like with even getting people to testify that we're in the house, even though again, people could look at that and say like, well, we don't know if they're telling the truth, and that's fair. But like I said, but at least it's something, right? It's not left out in the ether where it's just something that people are going to blindly speculate on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like speaking of speculation, before we leave that realm, real quick, I have one thing that's interesting to me as well, using words. I think that if this was all true, right? Just in the realm of speculation, not calling anybody a liar, not saying anything specifically, but
I'm already
if this
upset.
is all, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Bear with me. If this is all true, I think Jisoo would have made contact with you to show you the evidence of this. I don't know why it would be an issue. It's very telling to me why this can't just be confirmed. And like, I don't think you would cover up for ZeRo with like facts showing that he is in the wrong and stuff like that with stuff to corroborate what she's saying. So that's just theory.
I mean, if I was trying to be disingenuous and I was trying to like hand wave it and make it a lot easier for myself, I would probably make it not look as bad as it is, and I wouldn't be reading off the stuff about the ice cubes and shit. But I directly read her statement on that, and then pretty much his entire confession that was relevant to the Katie stuff, which is the worst allegation. I read that shit out loud.
Yes. Yeah.
There's
like
ways I could have done it. I probably could have done it like Nick. Like if you actually go back and watch his content on the Zaptai thing, I think he did a fucking shit job. And I think the fact that no one's gone back and criticized them for it is the only reason they've gotten away with it.
See, like I think you did you bring that up in the debate? I was hearing like people tell me things here and there. I gotta watch it. I was like, shit, all right. I'll wait. But no,
it's just weird to me because it's a 1-to-1 comparison, because it's like they're doing this campaign, they're welcoming him back, they're calling him his idol and their idol and shit. But then they look at the ZeRo stuff that's 7 years ago and they're like, well, this is unacceptable. He should never have a platform. How dare you defend him?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see what you're trying to say. But the one thing that I keep in mind with the Zaptai situation, and that's for most situations now regarding these kinds of things, right, is that there was evidence enough to compel a lot of people to say that Zaptai was guilty and he indeed was a pedophile, right? And it took them a few years to actually like double look into it and even like, like waive half the shit as being like false or whatever, right? I don't want to get into that situation again, right? So that's why I'm not quick to label anybody anything. Because
I'm not going to label him anything.
Yeah, and something as to compare this to, right? A lot of people, when Etika was going through his breakdown, right, they thought he was trolling. They thought it was a gimmick, a stunt. He's an attention person. He's an entertainer. And he really jumped off that bridge. No one was able to, like, figure it out. Some people took it seriously. Some people thought he was trolling as per usual. And he took his life, dude. I don't want to chance that on anybody. I don't want to label somebody something who says they're already mental. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not brave enough to make a definitive decision right now. So that's honestly my stance on everything. I don't know. What do you think?
It seems like that's what they felt until it was someone they needed to fuck with.
Yeah.
Because they're like trying to like put these labels and they're like, I don't know, dude. This one action, I think he's a pedophile. I would never touch this. And it's like, well, you kind of already have. So is your stance consistent, or are you just gonna flip flop on me?
See, my thing with that, right, and Aura can speak to this too, because we've been for about almost 2 years now. This is stuff that we've talked about, right? Going back to the Vic Mignogna stuff, I don't, and this is just me. I'm speaking for me. When I say this, I choose the things that I want to care about and invest my time into. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not a person that looks at every situation as like, I gotta be a hero today. I gotta put on my cape and then get on that fucking keyboard. You know what I mean? I don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. There's situations I hear about. And I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Caps lock.
I'm just being honest. But one thing that is something that I could personally get invested in that does bother me particularly is seeing people accused of something when there is no kind of evidence to substantiate it whatsoever, no facts to substantiate it whatsoever. That's just something that's just a personal thing for me that bothers me. And again, it started all the way back with Vic Mignogna, and that's how even me and Aura ended up meeting, was over this kind of subject matter. And we've seen it happen time and time again. Now, don't get me wrong. There's been instances where people have been guilty, because we have seen the evidence again that 100% substantiates what happened there, right?
I think it's good to just make it like a baseline rule for yourself. Like if you're gonna get involved in something, or if you want to make a statement on it, to make sure that you have that. But you don't have to make a statement on everything is the thing. Like
exactly.
Yeah, if you feel like there's not enough here to condemn someone, you don't have to like go out on a limb and make like a full on like, yeah, this dude's a piece of shit. He definitely did this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just irresponsible.
Well, because the other thing with that, right? When we're thinking, especially when it comes to these kind of allegations, right? We're talking about something that goes beyond just online bullshit, right? We're talking about you're labeling somebody one of the most heinous things you could possibly label them outside of being a murderer. That's the next worst thing you could label somebody, right? Is a pedo, right?
It's close to a death sentence.
Yeah,
as far as
and
the
then-
internet and sometimes in real life. So like you really gotta fucking tread carefully with this stuff.
Exactly. And the thing is, again, because this is something that goes beyond the internet. This is something that could affect that person's day to day.
Look at like Zaptai has been the example, right? Look at Zaptai, right? People were harassing him at his job. They were trying to get him fired. Like, this will follow you, Sky Williams. Like Technical's previous video before ZeRo, right? Look at what kind of life he had because of like these allegations and stuff.
Yes.
Like, they're gonna have real world effects, and like that's the thing. I'm not the one to make that call. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a cop. I'm no law enforcement. Nothing. I have no authority to label anybody anything. I could say my opinion, but that's as like good as like you're gonna take the value of it, right?
Yeah.
So it's that's all there is to it. Like, I'm just a light technician who gets on here and do things. Like, that's it. That's all I do.
You bring the light.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, when it comes to those accusations, though, people better damn well be sure that they have something to actually back that shit up. Because again,
real quick, also, I think like everybody in this climate right now just feels like they have to pick a side, when that's not the case. Somebody told me for that T3 episode. Yeah, that T3 episode, they're like, you're on the wrong side. I'm like, I'm on my side.
Yeah, it's like they're playing teams. Like, you're either with the pedophiles or you're against them. It's like, whoa. that's not what I'm trying to do here. It's very linear. Like, why are people thinking so black and white? It's how you make these fuck ups in the first place. Yeah, and like I think personally that him going to the law might be important. There might be an outcome from it. Like, I honestly think if the Katie stuff gets brought up, because that's something that I'm sure that's going to get used against him. I don't really know what he's suing for, but I figure if there's evidence against him, then let the law do its work. That's whose job it is. So I don't know.
We have somebody else join the stream here with us.
Dude, I heard accusations and I had to join. Like,
no way, it's Louis Caliber. What
did somebody say here? Accusations? I thought thing or two about accusations.
Yeah.
Technicals, Louis Caliber Technicals.
Yeah, I ruined the interview. I'm sorry, Technicals. But
no, you're good, dog. You're good. I'm getting a little sweaty in my room, though.
I fucking know, but all right, I'm just kidding. All right, you guys, I just came to say hi, and I gotta go real quick.
My armpit sweat.
Look, I'll talk to you later. But
all right.
2 interviews you ruined, Louis. Thank you.
I know. I just fucking. And you know what the common denominator is, or you're always in the middle of talking. So
the common denominator? What?
Yeah. Hey, stop, dude. Because look, that's another allegation. Chill out. I'm not trying to get hit with another Me Too right now. Especially with the tough gamer dude in the fucking chat. Like, seriously, guys.
Yeah, Technicals. Right. Louis had his own like problems. He had his own little Me Too moment, and we actually like defended him. So that's our relationship right there. So
okay.
Yeah,
but John, I'll be back here. I appreciated these guys for what they did. I mean, I didn't pay them or anything yet, but
no.
Disavow.
Right thing to do, Louis.
Disavow. Yeah.
Nah, I'll talk to you guys later though. I gotta drive, but I'm gonna keep listening to you guys.
Drive safe.
You crashing. Bye.
Yeah, right, dude. I'm trying to acquire more V2s and more. All right.
All right.
Peace out, guys.
All right, peace out.
All right, later, dog.
Oh yeah, it was nice meeting you. Nice meeting you.
You too, Louis.
Yeah.
Is there any other like big questions to like segue to on the docket?
John, it's us on you. I feel like
or you can start answering questions from the chat because it's been like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Let's get
some stuff.
Okay.
But I guess my last thing would be, this is something I wanted to ask you, and you can clarify it for me, but I feel like what you're trying to do is really try to affect some kind of reform within the professional Smash community. In regards, you're holding their feet to the fire a little bit and trying to force them to look at things and be like, hey, listen, if you're going to have these rules, right, you need to start applying them more equally, and you can't make exceptions to the rules because that's just, it shouldn't be that way.
Yep. You know what I mean? I'm daddying up. I'm daddying up. Yeah, I got a son. All these fools.
Yeah.
It's really ridiculous looking at, though, because if you're a fucking third party and you see this shit, you're like, whoa, this is fucking disgusting. What is happening here? And it's like, oh, dude, but we're such great friends with Nairo, and I believe him, dude. I believe him. It's like, well, you don't really run the judicial system off of blind faith. So you got to figure out some kind of fucking, some kind of consistent measurement.
No, like I think I was telling you actually yesterday, Tech. I got finessed by Nairo when he came up and he said, you know, the big legal words, not even big legal words. He's like, oh,
Kiss you on the neck or something?
Yeah. It's like Game of Thrones, you know? It's like, it's a Johnny Depp situation. But anyway, no, I told you, I actually, I overlooked a lot of things. And thanks to your video, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, shit, yeah, this is all true. I didn't even, look at this. I heard blanket terms and it was good enough. You know, I kind of just ran with it.
People were calling me out for not instantly counteracting that movement. But the thing is, I never fucking exonerated Nairo. I said, you can't prove if he's innocent or guilty. And I'd like to see his 30-page document and all this other stuff. And when that movement started and his new statement came out that I hadn't analyzed, obviously, because this is like his new take on it, I was just kind of looking at the Zach part of the situation. I realized new things, new different holes in the story, different inconsistencies. And when I was working on the anti-case, I was telling him, I was like, man, these guys are like sycophants. They will fucking eat up anything, which made the cases that would precede that far easier because they were more loving and more willing to accept them until I used it to turn around the ZeRo saga.
Yeah.
That's interesting. See, I think also part of it might have been in at least for me, right, with a guy like Captain Zach, whose reputation preceded him in regards to, you know, past situations. I think it was easy to put the blinders on and be like, oh, that Captain Zach up to no good again, right? And it was easy for people to look at that and say, oh yeah, I'll believe Nairo because, you know, Captain Zach, he's done shitty stuff before.
I felt for that too a little bit, but at the same time, I never said, oh, he's innocent. Like every time I blurred his name in my ESAM video and then I posted and I said, I didn't blur it because I think he's innocent. Like I never tweeted out hashtag unban Nairo. I disagreed with it the entire time. And people are trying to sit here and say, oh, dude, you were hella on that fucking wave. It's like, no, you were blinded. So you thought I was on that wave. I was not.
Yep.
Well, if I could just mention something here that I think is pretty pertinent since we're talking about that whole, we talked about a lot of different things here, you know, welcome back ZeRo, the ban Nairo situation and everything like that. I think one of the things that the community buy-in at large is doing, right, is you look at ESAM, right? ESAM came to the defense of Nairo. Really, ESAM? You know, I watched that video and then I did a little bit like I springboarded and I looked into shit myself. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you?
He brought up Kyle Rittenhouse too. if you think he's innocent, it's like, dude, we know he's innocent. It was a legal trial. Exactly. Discussed.
And then the thing is, for me, like, all these people, they eat at the same freaking Golden Corral, every last one of them. You know, while everybody else is having steak, they're eating all the veggies and going, you guys should eat more veggies. Look at Alpharad, right? Used to enjoy his videos and his content, and then he started talking about all and I'm not, please, well, you know what? Do whatever the hell you want.
Attack him. Yeah, attack Alpharad. Go.
No. I'm about to say. I had a really big issue with people utilizing their platform to tell people how to vote and how to choose their candidates.
You used to get bullied for Trump, that.
I'm blocking you. If you do
get
this,
bullied for that.
Huh?
You used to get bullied for that. Like Casey Neistat did that in a video for like Hillary, and people were like making fun of him.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, that's true. He did do that. I'm voting for Hillary. Right. I remember that.
but I'm gonna get a nose job.
Yeah, those things they give such a sour taste to me that I'm like, look, if I want that from you, I'll look up a pundit for that kind of stuff, and I'll even look at opposing points of view. But I'm just here for funny, you know, what's the name of the damn Among Us videos? I'm not here for your damn political opinion. I don't really care about it.
I don't give a shit.
I honestly don't give a shit. Please shut the hell up and go kill that crewmate. You know? And it's,
whoa.
And it's Whatever.
In Among Us.
In Among Us.
Among
Yeah.
Us.
But that's the thing that's going on. All of these people do the same thing. Esam has that same mentality. Alpharad has the same mentality. Like all these guys, they eat at the same freaking table, and I'm like, you know, not for nothing, I don't want to have anything to do with these assholes. And yes, I called them all assholes. If you're listening to me, you're all a bunch of assholes. Okay? Sick and tired of your shit. Play your game, ring people out, and shut the hell up.
I had one person, I'm not going to name them.
I'm the greatest Pikachu main on the planet. Therefore, I have a moral, you know, high ground to speak of. Shut up.
Yeah. I there's one person who's prominent, but I'm not going to name them. They were DMing me and fucking saying shit like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to stay in my lane now." Because to be honest, I don't really know all the details of some of this stuff. And I was just laughing my ass off. I was like, yeah, you should stay in your lane.
Yeah,
you should learn what the fuck you're talking about.
It's not to say that you can't have an opinion. Definitely do. But please, we know what you're doing. I have 100,000 followers. If I say hippo dicks, people will say it too. Hashtag hippo dicks. Hippo dicks.
Hippo dick.
And that's what they do. And I'm like, yo, I can see what you're doing. Stop it. You know? And that's like, but it all goes to the mob mentality. Some people don't want to do the research, and they'll go, well, Jimmy over here thinks Esam is a god, so whatever Esam says, I'm going for it. They do no thinking of their own. Damn that, Jimmy.
The funny thing, they're like, oh, dude, you shouldn't be going after all these people that tweeted it out. And it's like, well, they're guilty of being negligent when using their platform because they know they have influence, and they're using it without actually checking what the fuck it's for. And it's kind of stupid.
Pokemon go to the polls.
Yeah.
Shut up, Mark. Like, really?
Do you want to start on the super chats?
Yeah.
Now. So we got one here from base for $5. Yo, asked Technicals why he condemned his brother and then promoted him on Twitter and invited him to go meet kid YouTubers at VidCon.
What kid YouTubers were at VidCon? There was not. I don't remember a single child. I think everyone was of age.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of like a gotcha moment, and it was a fake VidCon, so most of us were adults anyways because we were sharing Airbnbs and stuff. And the thing, let me finish that.
Go ahead, finish.
Yeah, the thing with my brother is like, yeah, you can meme it and say, oh, dude, he said doing this was a joke, but it's like the drawing thing was not serious. And anything take like anything for views who posts his cock because it's funny and outrageous.
Yeah.
Like people do that, and he's. I'm saying he's ridiculous. I'm not saying it's okay, but there's no like sexually charged thing behind that. And if you want to find something that proves that, I'm all ears.
Well, it's like when Narrator posted his ass. Remember that, John?
Yeah.
Narrator posted his ass.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, he posted a picture pretending to be a woman. He had like women's underwears on, and it was to like a 15-year-old. And he's like, "Oh, I'm your biggest fan." Is like called whatever the boy's name was, fan page. And it's a picture of this like fucking like this like 19-year-old man's ass or something. I actually forget his age at the time.
Yeah, I don't really know that. I don't really know that.
Yeah, that's old. But I'm just saying, like, it's like, and then like, what did he say? Oh, I was joking. I didn't know I crossed the line. I'm sorry. You know, shit like that. So that's what it reminds me of.
My name is Narrator. You don't know me.
He's a short.
You're about to know my ass.
I'm not, again, like I have to say every time, I'm not condemning it. It's wrong. What he did was wrong, and he suffered like major consequences for it.
Yeah.
But if you want to show me something that would suggest, like, if you're going to insinuate that this is like a sexual thing with children, besides just like a really stupid flashing scenario he did when he like 5 years ago when he was 19, then show me it.
I'm just throwing this out there.
Yeah.
I don't know why Technical's brother is still relevant to this topic because it has nothing to do with the topic of the video.
Yeah. They brought it up for no reason. Like I condemned it a year and a half ago, and he agreed with me that I condemned it, and then was saying I didn't condemn it. Like just speaking in fucking circles.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I think people should stick to the points of the video if they don't like it, and stop focusing on a different situation that has nothing to do with that. But whatever.
Yeah, it literally has nothing to do with me.
Yeah. All right, so we'll continue to the next one here real quick. Okay, Demon King's Drago for 10. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. I thought Augie's take was weird with Tech's brother. Yo, look, it happened and they addressed it, and then it never happened again, and Tech isn't comfortable calling them a pedo. Okay, and that's bad?
Yeah, it's like he tried really hard to remove all context to make it look as bad as possible. I think he was getting really triggered about the high school dynamic. Yeah. Those tweets are hilarious. Like and then I brought up the one where he liked the tweet about 1914 not being pedophilic, And then he's like, "Oh, I don't remember this. I like a lot of tweets. That doesn't mean anything." Like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but if we're to look at that right on a surface level, most people would say. I think most people would make the argument that if you like something, it's kind of a
agreement, endorsement, backing.
endorsement.
Yeah, because he didn't really clarify what he disagreed with the point. He just kind of said, "Oh, well, I don't know."
Yeah.
Okay, so Simpman for $5. Thank you very much. I'd like to ask Tech some questions. Just want to clear some thoughts. Okay, well, I mean, feel free to ask.
I think this guy was like replying, "You need to talk this out in private," like over and over again in my replies, and I ignored them.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Let's see. Let's see if we can get the rest of them here. I'm getting down to them now. Oh, Crow's in the chat. Let's see. I'm getting to it.
This is a weird ass website. What the fuck is this website we're on?
Oh, this is a StreamYard. It's like
it's like Streamlabs or some shit.
They launched it after Google Hangouts went down to just kind of make it simplify for people.
Okay.
For streaming.
Some people will call it lazy. I'm just like, it's easy to use.
That's
okay. Yeah, it seems convenient. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very it's just all browser based. So
you literally just click a link and you're on. Boom. Fucking that's it.
This is most from you or a link. If not, that's cool. Peace.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, let me go down.
That one was asking for a link. I don't know what they wanted.
That was me. I wanted.
Oh, my
bad,
my bad.
To link them in basically. So
yeah. Facts.
I guess while I'm getting to this, because Jesus, there's a lot of chats in here. I'm trying to get down to the super chats, so you just get this through. But if you want, I guess, or while I'm doing this, if you want to give him, if you want to give Tech a little bit of context behind Louis, because I know you've already had two very random encounters with Louis thus far. Tech.
I'll try to break it down the best I can.
I've had two.
Yeah, he's the one who interrupted the T3 episode that we were doing, the interview that we had with you yesterday. That's the same person. Yeah. So Louis Caliber is a 5 million sub gaming channel. Is he more than 5 million?
5 million. 5 million plus.
Yeah, he's a 5 million plus sub gaming YouTuber. He's a part of the fucking. Is that Louis? That sounds like some shit Louis does. Fucking.
No, I'm sucking his cock.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So like, he's part of the Vanos group, and what is it? He was part of some drama from like his exes gathered up, made a Google Doc on him, and they tried to say that he's abusive and some shit like that.
So you guys are involved in some big shit.
A lot. This is not the first time.
Turds. Yeah. They tried to do him. They tried to do him with unsubstantiated evidence, just kind of claims.
Yeah.
And not very many people were looking into it. We looked into it and we kind of dissected everything.
They also try to call him a predator, pedophile.
Well, props for you guys taking on a big case like that. I had no idea.
Thank you. I mean, my co-host Crow's in the chat, and then my other two co-hosts, Steve and Sen, those are the guys we worked with yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were on top of all of it. So
I'd have to look over the facts to see if you fucked it up or not. But
no,
for now, you get my props.
I think you'll actually be interested. Not correct me. I don't give a shit, dude. I'd rather be corrected than just make a false statement. So
we'll talk about that for maybe like 5 minutes offline afterwards or something.
Absolutely.
But let's get through these super chats real quick. So
you found them.
Super duper chats.
So Simpman for $5. I want to ask a few questions, but more in private. But I want to say, I think you can talk it out. You, Nick,
what did I say?
You have Willie.
What did I say? This nigga was in my replies. He said the same thing like 5 times. You spent $1 for that?
Mind if let me read this one? So Chris from JD Films 269 says, I've heard mentions of ZeRo, but I don't know the story. Can we get a quick summary of how this all started to catch up those of us who don't know? Hey, just go to Technical's channel and watch the video. Seriously.
That's the simplest way.
Do. Well invested 47 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's get on to the next one here.
Keep them coming.
Getting through it. We're almost there. We're almost there, chat. We're almost there. I promise you.
I'd read the super chats, but I'm getting it on.
Yeah. I was like, man, he's sing for us while he's browsing and shit. Like,
Zombie Fox for the 10. Thank you so much, buddy. I can respect that you can still stick by your conviction that at the very least, educated on. Unlike some people that will give uneducated opinions and are irrelevant. Trevi done.
What'd my nigga Trevi do? Oh
And
no!
there it is, the gamer word the chat has been asking
Oh
for.
no!
All right.
What did he do?
For technical, do you feel opening this proverbial Pandora's box with Nairo is going to turn off more people to the Smash community? And is that good or bad to you?
It's good to me because I like watching it burn. Like the whole issue is like the fact that they're ducking it and they don't want to admit that they're wrong is the weird shit. It's like, I get you don't like me, but when you're an adult and you see that you're objectively like incorrect on some like judgment call you might have made, or like an issue of morality and like children, you should probably address that in like a good faith manner. If you just avoid it, you look weird as shit and you look incorrect. Like, what the fuck? There's articles being made about this shit, and you're just like, it's fine. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nah, we're good.
All right, so next one is from Devin. Thank you so much for the 5. I asked this in the last premiere you did with our T3 guys, but what is the last thing you want to say to your detractors, Tech?
Go boxing ring.
Wow. Wow.
Oldie but a goodie. Oldie but a goodie.
It's your boy again, Tech. Simpman for 5. Okay, just know no bad blood. Hope you the best, man. Best of luck for your future.
I get that onlookers that like our interactions together and want to see us continue to do shit together. You have to understand, like, I tried to agree to disagree, and then they walked it back, and then I get in an argument with Nick on Twitter, and then he starts leaking DMs. The leaked DMs hurt Augie's feelings because I said his arguments were shitty, which they are. Obviously, we just saw that on fucking Keemstar's channel. And then they start like fucking attacking me. And then they take some really old shit about my brother from a subreddit that's literally all about hating me. Every time I drop, they just like are fucking mauling about me. And then they start spreading it around and using it against me. And I'm like, if you actually looked into that case, you would know that I not only condemned it, but I said it was wrong, and I gave the context that they'd need to make like an educated assumption of like what's happening. But it kind of seemed like they ignored it. Like they ignored the things that I said in that time period.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like for sure.
Because people want to make the arguments that we're like friends and shit, but like, would you do that to your friend? Would you bring up their brother just to get some points on another scenario? Like, no.
No.
Let me tell you something about that. I've known Jonathan for 35 years, and it was funny. A couple months back, I had a spat with a close friend of mine, or my brother, I think it was. Yeah, my brother. And I forget. Shit happens. Anyways, the point is, I was talking to John. I'm like, dude, we've had disagreements. We've argued. When was the last time we got into a disagreement and insulted each other? And I'm talking about like, dude, you're dumb. When has that happened, John?
That's never happened.
I think the last time that happened was 12, 13 years ago.
Maybe, but even then, it's just like it didn't, it's quick to forgive and stuff like
that.
But not even to that point. Even then, we don't ever like bring up shit that has nothing to do with the issue at hand.
Never. We do this thing where when we're in a disagreement, we talk about the subject, not each other. Well, John, you'd be able to see the point if you weren't so damn skinny.
The reason why Augie looked so bad in the debate without me doing anything and I was just laughing is because he was making so many like emotionally charged character attacks for like no reason. Like it sounded like he was hyperventilating, and I was kind of just like sitting there waiting for him to shut the fuck up.
I was waiting for him to pass out, honestly. How could he?
Yeah, he was going in. I was like, damn, this been like how long? Like 2 minutes? 2 minutes nonstop? All right, keep going.
So this one is from LT Nest Knight for 5. Thank you. First, it's Tech versus the Smash community. Now it's Tech versus the commentary communities. Bunch of snakes. NGBRF.
Yeah, it means nigga go boxing ring, faggot. Thank you, Nest Knight. Thank you for the 5.
That's so great.
Based, and that's perfect. That's a perfect follow-up. That's a perfect follow-up.
All right. We have another one from Simpman for 5. I am neutral.
I'm gay as hell. I just fucked Augie too.
I am more neutral. I'm more Willie fan. I hope you the best. You did good. I understand your ZeRo argument, and no reason for your brother dragged in.
He tried to justify it. He's like, oh, he's a public figure. Like, I saw him at VidCon, all this other shit. When he makes like anime content, he's not a commentary channel.
Yeah.
You guys, they're fucking reaching so hard to get a win on shit that doesn't involve me. But they're like, you own the group chat. It's like, yeah, I disavowed it immediately.
Yeah.
Did somebody just bring up Willie Mack in that previous chat?
Yeah, he was saying he's more of a Willie fan. I love Willie. I want to work with him in the future.
Willie, like, Willie fundamentally disagrees, but I think he made his stance clear, and I respect it. He's handling it, I think, in the right way.
We talked about it yesterday on Crow's stream, and yeah, even though we disagree, like there's no hard feelings there. It's fine. It's what adults.
And it makes sense. It makes sense why he disagrees. I'm not even saying like, oh, I don't know how you could. I'm like, it makes sense.
They get personally offended. I feel like their crowd.
Well,
so
since Aura brings that up, I want to make a small point on that live stream that I saw. Right. So initially they're like, oh man, this video would have been a banger if it had only been 10 minutes long. Oh, the first 6 or 7 points blew it out of the water, bro. And then the video made me laugh so much, but it was just the way that you came back at them. It was like, oh, you start with facts and then you poison the well and start talking about emotions and stuff. I would have edited the video and I forgot if you were saying it to Augie or to Oreo Cookie. You were like, dude, if you would have done the video, all you would have done is read tweets.
Oh, I said that to Boblax. I felt kind of bad after that. I was getting a little irritated because
irrelevant to the point. You sat down, busted your ass, made a 47-minute video. Mind you, I've helped John put together videos. A 30-minute video is grueling. Okay, you put the freaking video together, and then they're saying, "I would have done it this way, but I would have done it." Then why didn't you make the video? Go make your own video.
It's funny because I haven't watched his Zaptai series, but when I go back, I'm looking at this emotional appeal that he's doing with the suicide and stuff, and I'm like, this motherfucker, this motherfucker did the same shit.
Yep.
What is he on my ass for?
Doesn't he play sad music at the end? Like, I hurt myself today with an apology.
I like that song. Stop.
There's probably a few dozen things I could poke holes in, but
it could have been Turkey Tom. I don't remember which creator did it, but I swear one of them ended it with that song.
They all welcomed it back. It was just me. They did a coordinated fucking welcome home, my nigga. So it's like, what are you upset about? Is what he did not unacceptable because he was catfished by a 14, 15-year-old who was saying she was 16 or 17? Like, I don't care, dude. That's still not okay. Like, what the fuck?
When you're going to break it down like that. Yeah, when you're going to break it down to fundamentals like that, I suppose, yeah.
Like, I'm not going to attack him for it. Like, I know it's not an okay thing to do, but I'm not going to say he's a monster for life.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Plus, I think he's already paid for it. On top of that, like, he's been through some shit. Yeah.
And Augie, Nick, all of them are going to have to live with the fact that got brought up again because they lack any consistency on the topic.
That's fair. I think that's fair. Like that. Me personally, I don't speak for everybody here, but I think that's fair.
I enjoyed the crickets. You do know he retired from the Smash scene 3 years ago, right?
And he's like, "Oh no, like, you cut out. Can you repeat that?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I cut out. All right.
So Masha for 5, appreciate it. Tuned into the Augie debate. TN misdirection at its finest. For ZeRo did compete and commentate, but you give his fan base an inch and they take a mile.
What does that mean? Like
I don't know what
retirement?
That means.
You mean like during his retirement he was doing stuff?
I guess for at its finest of our ZeRo did compete and commentate, but you give his fan base an inch and they take a mile.
I think what he's trying to say is that
he's saying Augie's. He's saying Augie's argument on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I was like, the only thing ZeRo did after his retirement, from what I could recall, is he played that Final Fantasy game, NT, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, he was collabing with a lot of Smashers and like streaming the events and stuff. I'm pretty sure he went to some of them, but like that's the thing. It's like I'm not saying he should go back to that. He can just upload content.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying.
All right. So Chris JD Film says, just so everyone hears, TJV is Trevi from now on.
Okay.
Yo, what is HK? Is this Hong Kong money?
So why do you think they find it so hard to admit Tech has actual good points? Why do they always try to misdirect the convo, like when they brought up Tech's brother?
Because they fucking suck. They
I literally
no
don't know
the
how to
thing
answer that either.
the thing is like they're so used to controlling the conversation and like always being in the right because they have like numbers and usually they've done a little bit of research. But when they're challenged, it's more like a pride thing. It's like, are you going to give some concessions and let this debate go on civilly, or are you going to be a little dickhead?
Well, I
I
mean,
can-
go ahead.
Huh.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I can make concessions if I'm wrong in an argument because I don't have like an inflated ego that I'm right about everything. It seems like they're a little different.
Yeah, well, like I usually go into the mindset that I could be wrong about shit. That's why I don't like to be definitive all the time. You know,
Yeah.
because as human beings, like we can be right and wrong. You know,
Mhm.
and sometimes shit isn't about just the individual. Like this case is bigger than that, in my opinion. Cases like this of these natures are bigger than just an individual's opinion. You know,
Exactly.
so.
Well, I heard you mention this yesterday when you were on with Aura on T3, and
No, you didn't.
I absolutely didn't. You Jedi.
I didn't say shit.
You wiped it. You wiped it. It's gone now. But you had mentioned, that people bringing, saying to you, basically, what if you're wrong and things like that. And you're like, well, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Then I'll go back and I'll go back and essentially correct the record and say, hey, I was wrong.
I love being right so much that being wrong about something isn't a problem to me.
Yeah.
I want to have the correct information. I want to have like the proper consistent stance. And that's like my thing. And that's why I think a lot of the videos are good and a lot of like what I've done over the years is good because I think I'm a very consistent person.
Yeah.
I mean, like, same. I like to handle things like I'm open to correction if you can offer it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if
I've
you're gonna
done
just say
apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I fucked up shit in the past. Like I fucked up the Thunder Gaming thing that I did before. And I sat down with the CEO and we went over the financials. I gave him an apology because what I said was incorrect. Fuck. I think there was one other one, but that's like the biggest one that I can remember.
Well,
Right.
one thing that I want to point out with what you were talking about earlier is think about this. Why
phase
is
rug.
it?
Yeah.
Why is it that they immediately want to disagree with you? Why is it that this and that and the other? And you bring up a very valid point because of their numbers, because of their audience. Think about this for a moment. It's kind of low level what happens with scientific discoveries. You guys have heard of peer reviews, right? In psychology and all these other things. Somebody sits down and goes, I've discovered a thing. And they send it out. 30 people have to peer review it and agree with it before it becomes fact. Right?
Send it back, you fucking nerd.
Yeah, I don't know.
Big red ink.
It's weird. Like even with my brother, I was like, "Do you agree that the context that doing something for sexually charged gratification purposes is worse than it being a joke?" And they said yes. And I was like, "Oh, so then context does matter." And then they say, "Oh, it only matters a little." Well, yeah, that little is a pretty big fucking leap in my opinion.
Yep, it could be that way. That's true.
Because like you can't be a detective. You can't like go out and try to convict people on cases, say that they're guilty if you can't establish a motive. Motive is like one of the most important things when doing investigations, because if you have the motive, then you can understand their actions throughout the entire case.
Yep. Correct.
Just feels a little disingenuous to not care about context, but that's whatever.
I mean, I think context is important for most things anyway, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just on a league of my own on that thought, but whatever.
No.
This comment.
Yeah, so this is from Matcha for 2. Thank you. I lost it when you said Augie would fold to you.
Dude, we were at Wayne's rooftop party, and I like was feeling him up, not in like a weird sexual way, but like his sides, because he was really small. Like he's like weighs like 110, and people were just like picking him up and kind of talking about how tiny he was. So it was funny. It was funny how aggressive he was getting, because I've seen him in person. His stature is it's not the biggest. He's saying like, pussy, do it, pussy, you fucking cunt, retard. And I'm just like, wow. I would love to hear that in person.
Like big dick energy? Like, is that what you mean?
Okay. Next VidCon is gonna be sick.
When
Nothing's gonna happen, but it's just funny.
When you say stuff like that, it reminds me of that Thanos meme. Hey, where did Ant-Man go?
Jesus.
He was acting like he wasn't coping. He was screaming so hard, and I was just kind of laughing because it's like, dude, I'm trying not to fall for his bait and get upset, but he's like making it so easy that I'm not even getting upset.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like it at all. So, so HK again for 50. Thank you for the very insightful response. One last question: why do people think Augie won the Keemstar debate?
Why do some people think Augie
Because he
won
yelled
the
a lot,
Keemstar
maybe.
debate?
I haven't
Well,
seen it. I haven't seen it.
yeah, because he yelled shit like, "Oh, you're lying! You're lying! You're disingenuous! You're disingenuous! You're lying! You're lying! You're coping! Retard! Cuck!" And then yeah, he threw in he actually sounded like a child. I was trying to have like a decent conversation, kind of bring up my points, and then he was saying I was being disingenuous by bringing up the high school thing, and even Keemstar agreed that it was weird. Like a lot of people agree that it's weird. Sorry that you had a hot take that you want to flip flop. He's like, I didn't say it was good. He's lying. And I'm like, you did say it was fine. You did say it was fine, right? And he's like, yes. All right. Well, good is a synonym, dumbass. Shut up. Like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't say it was good. I said it was fine. I didn't say rape was good. I said it was fine. There's a difference.
Dude, all right. I got to watch this shit. I'm like, what is going on?
There's a difference.
Yeah. You know,
Idiot.
One thing I will say, and not that I watch, Keem or I'm necessarily a fan of his content. I was surprised that he actually was a decent moderator for it.
Oh no, it was a really fair moderation. I was actually surprised because he wouldn't let me get away. He would question me on the important stuff, but then he'd keep the peace when Augie was going a little off the rails. And then he would kind of question Augie. Yeah, he'd bring it back.
That actually surprised me a lot. I was like, wow, Keem actually did a pretty good job of moderating.
And he called him out a couple times too.
Yeah. Well, he kept it level. He kept things. I think he really did keep things level and balanced.
I like it. He's like Augie. Augie.
I did it for The Rock, old school WWE motive.
Gotta watch it. Damn. All right. I'll check it out after.
We devour.
All right. Strider for the 5. Augie looked like Kai Weiss in the debate tonight. Ooh.
Oh, yikes.
Wow.
Yikes.
That's a burner.
Yikes. You could tell he was upset when I called him out for not knowing his own case. Because when I said I didn't know the James Charles one, he was all like, "Oh, yikes! Yikes! You don't know that?" It's like, whoa, Jesus Christ, calm down, dude. Holy shit. So it's a little triggered there.
Yeah. I like I said, I thought there was a lot of points where I thought, especially when it came to stuff, right? I think the most significant stuff was the usage of information that again hasn't been substantiated. I'm like, but that's not fact. But you're using it as a point of argument, and I don't think that helps because it's just like that hasn't been substantiated yet. I mean, if you want to say, look, it's my opinion, and you want to try to argue that's I guess you can do that. But again, it's not rooted in any kind of it's not based in anything that has been proved.
Let me tell you guys something. What I think when I hear a lot of these debates. When you are talking and you ask a question and it gets answered and you revisit the question again and it gets answered and you revisit the question again, you just keep rephrasing everything. You got nothing.
Like Kyle Rittenhouse. That's what you sound like you described.
It's almost like he forgot how I explained it like the first time, and then he would fucking bring it up again. And I was like, did we not just both agree that I disavowed this? Like,
dude,
that I condemned it?
Watching
that getting annoying.
I felt like I was watching an MMA match because we're sitting here in the car, right? We're driving, and I'm like, dude, thank God I wasn't on that.
What am I supposed to do from that? Because he's screeching like a fucking I don't want to result in character attacks, but he was screeching a lot. And like, what am I supposed to do?
Reset era, but go on.
I'm not above character attacks. Obviously, I did some, but I just didn't want to use one there because I didn't feel like it was necessary.
I did it for you. It's fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't because here's the thing. I don't give a shit. So I really don't. Here's the craziest thing, and John would attest to this. The things that I say here over the internet, I'll say in person. I really don't give a damn because the thing is, for me, is first impressions are very, very important. It's not to say that people are not irredeemable. People can't get a path back to redemption. But when you screw up royally, you insert both feet in your mouth and then you double down, you can kiss my ass. I don't care what you have to say after the fact. Prove me wrong or walk it back or do whatever the hell you have to do. And if my opinion matters a damn to you, then you do something about it. If not, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. He complained because I didn't want to go on his live stream. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to give you traffic and donations, dude.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
like, oh, you only said Keepstar for the clout. It's like, really? I don't know about that, because Keemstar was kind of the one taking the middle ground the whole time. Like, he was calling all of us out for like a couple days, and he just wanted to end it. I don't really think it was oh my god, yeah, let's go on Drama Alert.
No, it seemed like he genuinely wanted to like mend things, because I think he even put a tweet out after like who won, and he's like there are no winners, they should just make peace.
No, yeah,
I think
he's
that's
been
literally his
saying
goal.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he wants like this big divide.
We're
I don't know.
all involved with Keemstar too. It's not like I'm fucking like, oh hell yeah, give me that Keemstar clout. It's like we're all like mutuals with Keemstar. Like, what the fuck is your point here, dude?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so
Weird.
But thank you for coming here and giving us your clout and donations.
yeah, no problem, dude. No problem.
Let's get these last ones here. Last one, TM, but Augie sounded like a Redditor. Only words he could say was cope and L, then proceeded to melt down. Also, context is important. Good night.
Good night, Matcha.
I don't know if Augie, I like it from the sounds of it. It doesn't sound like Augie was like well prepared for this. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to watch it.
He made a tweet. He was like, because he was talking about the poll. He's like, I'm kind of doing all right in the poll, considering I'm a nobody. I wasn't prepared. I'm not a debater. And he was making like all these excuses. And I was like, wow, he just admitted he's a nobody when he was just talking numbers, like not even fucking hours before.
Yeah.
Like, I get 300 on my side channel that I don't even fucking care about on Twitch. I was like, why is this dude bringing up numbers? And then people were criticizing me for bringing up numbers, when it's like, dude, you started this. Like, how are you going to bring up numbers when you're fucking actually an infant?
Yeah.
So HK for 10, last one. When are you going to burn it all down?
It's happening right now.
I have the play. I'm not going to release. I'm gonna release the nuke option, but I have the play. I just need to make sure all my documents are in order, because I can't keep I can't rush out these videos. These videos are not like fucking. I only rushed the Nairo one because I needed it to be out there.
Yeah. Oh, so are you referring to what you've been tweeting about? Actually,
no. That was the Nick and Augie stuff.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Because they were like coming at me. Like, Nick even came into my stream while I was just streaming on my side channel, and he tried to start like instigating. Like, they do this whole targeted harassment thing with anyone that goes against the grain, and I wasn't complaining about it. I'm just calling them out for it, because this is not a neutral thing where we're both we're both escalating, but they're kind of like instigating it. Like, they're trying to piss me off, and I don't care. Obviously, I can handle it. It's just, don't be disingenuous and act like you're not doing that, because you obviously are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like a victim card. It's just the fucking facts. Like, you're subtweeting me 20 times, and you're coming into my stream when I'm trying to just fucking like chill.
Yeah.
Don't be upset when you get smacked. Like, what the fuck?
All right, it's fair.
Did you have any last?
No. I was gonna see if there was any more chats to go.
No, we're good. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I want to say thank you to Technicals for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I'm really sorry that we had to push it back.
Oh no, man. Look, let me know, man. It's all good.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming. So we'll go ahead and close it out here. We'd love to have you on again.
Obviously. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Like,
I
just have like a few trips coming up, and after that I'll be free. It's like mostly December and like the start of January, but after that I'll be like good to do whatever you want.
I forgot he could do that. I forgot. Dude,
you know what? We need to get him and Louis on a call where you do that voice technical and Louis does his fucking squeaker voice.
Yeah. Oh, he has a squeaker voice. I love that.
Yeah.
Someone was asking why I grew an afro. My mom would always force me to cut my hair when I was a kid. I just like having longer hair.
Bro, that's just like you.
That is exactly like me, dude.
That's
like me.
Yeah. Last one. Okay, so here's
except I don't have an afro.
Nigga, I just answered this. Put that shit away. Chris, get the fuck off the screen.
All right, we're gonna
get this nigga off my screen.
Stick around for a second after I end the thing. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to Tech for coming. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one. You all that donate, y'all are the stream daddies or stream mommies, or stream them if you prefer.
Stream thems
or stream legion, whatever you prefer. Thank you very much. Catch us on the next one, and you all have a wonderful night.
Yeah.